some sound. We are live. I think. Why can't I see any? Oh, okay, because the screen's too high. That's fine. All right, we are back for this is episode.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
nothing.
You're just gonna jump all in my intro like that for nothing?
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
what were you gonna say?
I'm just gonna stomp right on it. No, I thought the Trello board was gone, but I wasn't logged in.
You know, I
Just
haven't
letting you
updated
know.
that damn Trello board in so long.
I always have it open.
I should really update it. Actually, I'm gonna start keeping one for DM tracking because I think it's actually really useful. But yeah, I should. God, it's probably 5 sessions behind. But past couple sessions, so we're on session 13, which is super cool, super exciting. Um, After trailing Sephic, the party ends up finding some berserkers kind of camped out in a ice village. Dealing with them, you find this magical ring that you pluck off the finger, and as soon as you do, it whisks you away to another part of the Icewind Dales, and you come across this cave of berserkers, um, aptly named that quest in the book Cave of the Berserkers, in case you're ever curious. Um, but inside that cave, God, this battle music is just deafening for me. Hold on one second, because I have to keep it up, otherwise it doesn't even sound good when we record. But I can't even hear myself think. I don't know. Give me like some ambient music here or something. So you find this cave, and inside you actually find two small wormling dragons, right? And dispatch them. I think Davos causes them to both stab themselves on the tusk in the front. Then you go inside, and you're exploring the cave, and you find another berserker who's like just carving up meat. And you deal with him, and then you find Torga is like attached to meat hooks on the side of the cave wall. You pluck her off, then this guy wouldn't die that you were fighting. He was like somehow still like alive and chasing you guys around. But then you realize if you draw him out of the cave, he's no longer I don't know, immortal more or less. And then as you're starting to piece all this together, three more berserkers in what is just a really slugfest of a fight. They're coming up the trail from the south, and you guys are able to kind of pin them on the bridge and keep them out of the cave long enough to subdue two of them. I think the third one goes just absolute batshit crazy in the in darkness created on that winding path. During that time, a Goliath, a magic user that had been tracking these three berserkers, lends you a hand, although still kind of wary of your intentions or your who you are. But yeah, after duking it out with these guys, you guys retreat back into the this cave that's etched out in the side of one of the mountains on the spine of the world. This massive mountain range that encircles the Icewind Dales, or at least the southern portion of the Icewind Dales. Um, and then finally, what's probably like one of the most taxing days you all have had. Some of you in a while, some of you probably at all. You kind of retreat back into the cave to get some rest. And that's pretty much where we left off last time. We did miss a enchanting Torga, I believe, Davos, again. Or not again, but to get some answers out of her with what she knows about Sephic, this creature that had basically just possessed Caro's body and whisked away into the ether. Um, you find that she knows some things about him and his capabilities, but doesn't really, I feel like, give too much information about like who he really is. She seems to be of the mindset that it's better to not know really what he is and what he's capable of. But now tied up in the cave, maybe a hairball in her mouth. There was a hairball mentioned somewhere in the parting minutes of the last episode. Um, it's a matter of getting some rest now and some recovery as the cold starts to set in. And that's where we'll pick it up. So it's a long rest ahead. We haven't taken it yet, so we should probably. I don't think we took it yet. Did we set up shifts last time?
Thought we did.
I thought we did.
Oh, we did, and there were no issues.
No.
I don't believe so.
Oh, good. You love it when the DM asks you, was there any issues last night with the long rest? I'm sure it's going to be completely fine. Okay, well then let's turn the clock back just a little bit because while most of you are able to sleep peacefully, DeQuinn, you find yourself in a bit of a surreal sort of half awake, half sleep dream state. The
It's because I was too excited, right?
It's because you were just giddy with the fact that a Goliath noticed your horns, found them to be immaculate in presentation, and
I think the word majestic was also mentioned there too.
Probably by DeQuinn more than anyone else. He has a lot of adjectives for his horns. No, so as you're laying, you lay your head down to sleep, and the exhaustion starts to take over from all the combat that you've basically been in, and then you open your eyes and you feel that sort of familiar, frigid Arctic wind come across your fur, cold, sharp, still but comforting in a way. It's almost like you're home. It's blurry though. There doesn't seem to be snowfall necessarily, but as you look in each direction, front, to the left, to the right, it's just a wintry curtain blocking any sight lines, anything in the distance. And you just hear that wind whipping and rustling around you. Some crystals are starting to form under your nose from the hot air from your breath hitting the cold air and the moisture freezing instantaneously.
So there's nothing around me. No.
It doesn't seem that way. And there are no people. Just whipping wind.
Oh man. It's one thing this Minotaur doesn't like to be, and that's alone. He's going to walk, huddle himself up, and whatever warmth he can get, just travel.
You start to take steps. The ground is not difficult, but not sturdy or steady, I guess, so to speak. It's like fresh powder, kind of crunches under those hooves. You walk and you walk and you walk, and for what feels like forever, which, as dreams are, the time passage isn't always 1-to-1. But you do start to see in the distance, and you smell it maybe perhaps before you even see it, the fire, the burnt wood and ash. And as you walk and step forward, kind of trying to hone in on that, you start to see what looks like the shape of a building in the distance.
Do I recognize said building at all?
From here, no. No, it's just a blurry image in the distance. At best, it looks like that black cabin that the four of you had adventured to. So not too large in shape. It's not the black cabin, but that's kind of the parameters of what you're seeing.
Maybe Pop give me strength, and I'll keep heading towards it, feeling that the cold is going to get the best of me.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, it's cold, but you're warm. You're not deteriorating. It's not like, you know the cold. You're used to it. You know that in this environment it'd be very odd. And with the natural 20 warm up, right? Intelligence roll. It's a little weird. Like you kind of like, okay, like I'm cold, but I'm not getting cold. It's strange. But you can walk towards this fixture, and it gets a little bigger in the horizon. And as you get closer, you see it's this well-made cabin, and you can now see the smoke starting to billow out of a chimney on the top, and there's a warm sort of amber light coming out of each of the windows, like on the side facing you.
Do I hear any movement at all? Or
Not quite yet, no. The wind is just like howling, and especially as it catches the side of the cabin, it's overpowering.
Hmm. I guess I'll have a look-see as I muster up the courage.
Sure. As you get closer, you're met with a solid wall like in front of you. No door, only some windows, one on the left, one on the right, and you see like kind of again that light kind of coming out as the the curtains aren't drawn. There's no shutters closed. Just a wall of wood in front of you. Windows are probably about you're a tall person, so waist high.
Oh, okay.
Waist to chest, yeah.
I will lean down until I can get a good perception through the window and perhaps tap it with my horn.
Yeah, I should say that the base of the window is waist, so you don't have to lean down. As you walk up, you can see in the window if you wanted to.
How accommodating.
Yeah, perfect height actually. It's strange.
I will knock on the glass. Or tap on it with a finger.
Okay, you tap. No reaction, but as you get closer to it, you do start to hear sort of muffled voices back and forth.
I've always been told it's rude to eavesdrop, but this all seems kinda important. I will put my ear to the wall to listen into the conversation.
Sure. So as you like lean in and put your ear to the wall, you hear familiar voices. You hear the voice of Davos, a person you've traveled with for years, and he's chuckling, wholeheartedly, in a way that you probably haven't heard in some time, but having excited conversation. Then you hear Odaxi in the background respond, and you hear Kayla. I'm sorry.
Kala, sorry.
Kala. No, you're perfect. Kala and Maeve in the background, all chattering back and forth.
Can I
Go ahead.
just learn what they're saying at all?
They're just laughing and they're joking. They're talking about this grand adventure of how they were hunting down this ferocious beast, and you can hear
A red Sasquatch?
it's almost a red yeti, maybe perhaps instead actually.
Oh man.
You hear them how the hunt was thrilling, and Kala's like, yeah, and then I shapeshifted and kind of stepped behind the tree to lure this beast out, and then Maeve responds, it was the perfect trap. It was so cleverly done, and Dav was like, then of course he casted darkness, and swarms of bees came around, and Odaxi came from behind and just wailed on this creature from the back, rendering it unconscious, and they're clacking glasses together and celebrating this exquisite hunt.
Can I knock on the window, please?
Knock, yeah, for sure.
I knock on the window.
There's no response.
I'd like to be part of the hunt too, please. Davos, it's to Quinn, please let me in.
Yeah, for some reason there's just no response. Like they continue about their story. You see Davos gets up and actually walks towards you, almost as if he heard you, and he grabs another flagon of ale and turns around and starts to fill everyone's glass up again.
You piece of shit. No, I don't like to be alone. And I'm gonna go back a couple of steps and try to ram the window.
Ooh, roll an attack roll.
That's about right.
Well, it's a wall, so you hit. So roll for damage. Okay, and you just slowly take a few steps back. Maybe not even slowly. You're probably pretty pissed that you're not invited to this hunt, And as you kind of take like 5, 10, 15 feet back and put your horns down and start to ram through, you shatter through the window. And you can feel kind of the glass crumple around you. Wood splinters and breaks. You actually demolish the wall in front of you. And for a second, you hear the sound of your hooves striking against the wood on the ground. And then, in an instant, when you lift your head back up, it's snow all over again.
Alright, now I'm mad.
There's no cabin, no Davos, no friends, just the whipping wind.
It's okay, friend. Pop may not be here. But as the shaman always said, you just gotta keep going forward. You know, pick up and just keep walking, looking for something.
Much
And
like
then,
before.
much like before, and he's just humming a song to his head
Okay.
to try and stay calm.
Yeah, it's 1 foot, 1 hoof into the snow, over and over and over as you push forward. Step, step. You walk for what feels like a mile, and suddenly the wind stops, and what little snow seemed to be falling clears up, and you can see in front of you for miles now, as it's one of the clearest days you've ever encountered in the Icewind Dales. And as you look around, you just see stump after stump after stump as what appears to be this entire forest area has been completely cleared, and there are no trees in sight, just remnants of them coming out of the ground all over, covered with a faint bit of snow.
Do I have my axe?
You do. You have your halberd, yeah. As
Do I see anyone?
you turn and look in all directions, and in all directions it's the same sort of vision, but there's nothing.
Why? If a tree has yet to live in an environment as such as cold as this, why do we have to cut them down? Just to feel a bit of warmth? Humans disgust me. I'm gonna keep walking towards the deforestation and trying to find somebody or something.
Step after step, the site doesn't change. You know, it's you've never seen so many cut down trees probably in your entire life. Nothing rears its head. You know, nothing. No one seems to. You hear no sounds, no voices. It's just empty.
Do I see any remnants of trees, like a branch or anything like that, that I can replant of some sort?
No, it's like they took everything. Every pine needle, every branch, every twig.
I
Roll
didn't know what this means.
roll a perception check.
Gladly. Lucky 7.
Lucky number 7. Yeah, as you start to like look to your left, look to your right, and you start to kind of maybe panic a little bit, and you start bolting in one direction, then turning and cutting in the other. There's seems to be no end to this torturous maze. Brush some snow off one of the stumps and like run your hand across, and the sap is fresh. You know, you can crystallize because of the cold, but like breaks off, and you can kind of almost feel still the warmth in the wood. And in a moment of panic and frustration and anger, as you grip that halberd probably tighter than you have, looking for something for someone to blame for this, all of the stumps are gone, and you stand alone in the middle of a wintry, wondrous abyss, essentially. In the distance, you see a little bit of smoke. You smell that campfire smell again, and you see the outline of a cabin.
I sprint to it.
The second you take a step, you come to and you wake up, and you find yourself in a small, dark cavern, laying on some smelly fur that you happen to find there. And all of your friends are around you, and this time you feel cold, because it is cold.
Can I find Davos, please?
Sure. I don't
I don't
know
know.
who. I don't remember the order of who was doing what. I'm just gonna assume Davos is probably sleeping.
I do believe.
I go over to Davos. I pick him up by the chest and I lift him up.
I
towards
scream
my
like a
face.
child.
Did you hunt without me?
Do I, in the years that we've been together, do
I don't know,
often
Davos.
sneak out and do
You
the
often
hunting?
do sneak out and do things on your own. It's your thing, is it not?
But hunting's like, you know.
Amazing.
It's like
I
your-
know.
Yes, yeah.
That's why
It's
I'm
like
hurt.
your thing.
At this point, you probably all hear this just conversation erupt. We'll say, for the sake of just progression, that it was Maeve's turn to stand guard. So Maeve, you were up. So you just see DeQuinn sprint over and start to shake Davos. Now Audaxi, Torga, Kala, you guys are all stirred awake by basically DeQuinn shaking Davos out of his bed in the middle of the night.
Was he tossing before he woke up?
Probably. Yeah, he doesn't seem like the type to really handle those events well.
Why, Davos?
I didn't. What's wrong?
Oh, put him back down. Guess it was just a dream. I'll look over to
Happened.
Kala. And then I look around. I apologize, Davos.
Don't mention it, yeah. It's been a weird few weeks.
Maybe what I said to the little magician was true.
Huh?
It's alright.
It's gonna be fun, buddy.
When we get a chance, Davos, I want to go back home.
I mean,
The
yeah.
frozen lake. Something just doesn't feel right.
All right, buddy.
He'll settle down and go back to where his bedroll is and start packing up quietly.
Start packing it up.
What?
Packing up.
Quietly is different.
Yeah, Davos is just gonna stand there, like, staring off.
Are you going somewhere, DeQuinn?
I mean, it's a brand new day, right? Or
I
is it
was in the
still
middle of the
day?
night-ish, yeah. So, there's probably still a couple more hours of sleep left to be had.
I don't think I'll be going back to sleep anyway.
Okay.
I will leave May for their duties.
Sure. Well, unless there's anything anyone wants to accomplish during their long rest or their time at watching or anything like that, um, the long rest is had, and everyone can restore some hit points, restore some hit die, reset spells if you want to and can um, activate different spells that maybe you didn't have before. It's dark. It still remains dark in the cavern, but as DeQuinn is probably on the final duty, you start to see some sunlight peer into the cavern behind you and illuminate it, even if just a little bit. But it is a new day. What's the plan? Jesus. I try to get my
Alright
math
there, but
right.
come on, guys. Let's cheer up a little bit.
You guys did snag, I think, I told you last time, like a ton of meat
Cook some meat.
that was frozen in sort of that like storage room to the northeast there. There are several bodies lined on the walkway. Two small dragon wormling corpses. Torga kind of sits there patiently, awake, alert, tied, at the bottom of the cabin where you're sleeping.
Should we cook some up? Prepare it? A little meal going?
You do need to eat.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'll put together a campfire with some spits.
Okay.
Our cats create bonfire too.
So you see, like,
All my
Odaxi.
work just went up in
Yeah,
flames.
Odaxi's very carefully. Do you cast it on the same one that he's doing, or are you gonna make your own bonfire separately to the side?
Well, I was gonna try to help him out by casting bonfire so he could get in there and see. He didn't have to do the work. I just shoot it.
So I was almost done,
Mm-hmm.
and then a bonfire just erupts out of the ground there, and I'm like, all right.
I feel like you're
Done.
very meticulously placing the logs in a pattern that you know will have a really optimal fire. And then, proud of your work, you kind of look down, and then all of a sudden you hear like a snap behind you, and then just burst into flames as like a small bonfire immediately erupts in front of you.
Well, that makes that easier. Would like to known 5 minutes ago.
Well, we still needed logs, so you need something to burn.
Yep.
All right, who's doing the grilling here? That's what I want to know. Who's Chef Boyardeeing this? You guys have
Good.
80 pounds of fresh meat in this place.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
and
a lot.
meat is very valuable, to be clear, right? Like, cause in a world where it's hard to find good food, 80 pounds is pretty damn good. You could probably fetch 3 to 5 silver per pound.
If we ever make it back to anyone, buy it.
Would we have to preserve it? Or is the cold just good enough?
The cold's pretty good. If anything, you may have to try and prevent the cold from, you know,
Burning it.
giving the like freezer burn, right? Essentially, and destroying the meat. But if taken care of, yeah, the cold helps a lot. Is Torga muffled still or no?
No.
Torg is under threat of mage hand.
Just a constant maze hand floating in her visage.
Mm-hmm. Just helps remind her to.
She just kind of sits idly back in the
She
bottom of
still
the base.
bound?
She is bound. Yeah, you guys bound her before you went to sleep.
The couldn't look over and unbound her.
She gives you a respectful nod, rubs her wrist and ankles some. I don't know. Yeah, I'm assuming you did both, probably. Kind of looks around the cave some, looks at each of you. I could cook a bit of the meat if that's to your fancy.
Sure, if you're good at preparing.
I'm as good as the next person, probably, but you know, some crispy meat is never gonna hurt anyone.
I think it's safe to assume that Dequin and I'll have a double portion.
I'm actually not that hungry.
Triple then.
Triple for Odaxi.
I'll have his extra.
She kind of wanders over and grabs some of the sharper bones from the owl bear that was hacked up in the other room and puts a bunch of meats on those spikes and rest them over the bonfire and immediately like this whole room is just filled with the smell of searing meat as it crackles and then oil drops down on the fire and the fire kicks up in this whole process, and she kind of works them back and forth. She looks at each of you. I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't know who wants it rare, who wants it well done. She looks at the kind of Odaxi and DeQuinn. You look like medium rare folk. Don't know about the fox girl. She probably wants it uncooked. I'm not
Not a fox, but just sear it on the outside, but yes, rare on the inside. Raw on the inside.
This moment of
Nope.
Maeve is like
Nope.
insulted, but also did want it pretty rare. So
You'll learn to live with being called a wrong animal.
what about you, Goliath?
I'm good, and because I think I mentioned at the end of last session I was going to cast a couple things of good berry. I'm good, she said, and she pops a good berry in her mouth. That'll do her for the day.
Oh, you're gonna just have a berry. That's gonna be your play for the whole day.
Yeah, it's good. You want one?
I mean, I'll eat a berry, but I don't plan on going all day with just a berry.
But you don't need any more.
I don't believe that for a second.
Try one. And I pass her one.
She kind of looks coyly as she is starting to rotate some of the meat on the on a bone spigot, and she pops it in her mouth, and it's like a moment. What do your berries taste like, Hala? Like what is she eating? You tell me.
They would totally be like a raspberry or blackberry kind of.
Okay, so there's just like this explosion of kind of like that bitter tart, moment of sweetness that kind of that follows at the end. And she recoils back a little bit and looks around at all of you. Well, that was pretty good, but I don't. And there's like a moment where she stops and looks around and looks at you, and she feels satiated because that is what the spell does. But she's uncertain of how that's even remotely possible, and she kind of shakes her head and, yeah, it was good, but it's not going to be enough to keep a girl like me going all day. And she turns back to the fire, pulls one of the meats off and tosses it to you, Maeve, in the air. You see that there's like a blackish crust kind of built up on the outside of it, but inside it is pretty tender still. And she continues to work the fire for a little bit and passes each of you a bit of meat. Davos, how did you want your meat prepared?
Okay.
She just gives you kind of a medium well done slice of meat. Probably all in all, I don't even know poundage of meat.
Probably like 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah, I would think so, right? Because like, isn't like an average? Yeah.
Like a half pound.
Think
It's
about
kind
it,
of like a
when
big
you-
serving.
when-
Right.
Well, think about it. When you go out for like wings, you get like 1 pound of wing is usually about what, like 12,
That's like 12.
8 or
yeah.
12,
Eight,
8 or 12.
like 8,
so
yeah.
Okay.
a pound of meat isn't
It's
doesn't
not
go
a
too far.
right.
Especially if it's a denser meat, it's gonna go even less.
Okay. I don't know how dense owlbear is. I'll have to Google that later. But yeah, so probably about I'll say 5 pounds of your 80 pounds of meat has been kind of reallocated. DeQuinn, do you want any at all?
I think it's really weird that the Goliath passed up a meat and how rare someone would take it. I think that she's some sort of those vegetarian types, so I think she's a bit weird, and I'll go over and grab a piece of meat. But without saying anything, I just pick it up when I think it's ready for me.
Tora kind of like goes to stop you because she was gonna cook that one, but then like pulls back and just kind of nods and lets you take it. So I I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we're in the absolute bumfuck in the middle of nowhere here. We talked about it a little last night, but if we go to the Tin Towns, it's probably a 1 week, 2 week journey. I think the nearest town from here, if I had to guess, is East Haven. Unless we want to try and cross the lake, and then we can go to either Caer Dineval or Caer Konig. But Dineval, I pronounced that wrong. But we've got quite the journey ahead of us, unless we, and I know it sounds counterintuitive, go the opposite direction. Meet with the Goliaths that live out here in the middle of the mountains.
When you say that, anyone that might notice, see Calla kind of recoil a little bit at the idea of meeting.
Probably Maeve. I don't know who else has a good passive perception. Daxie, what's your pat? Did you take observant?
No.
You took
but-
War Mage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my passive is 15.
Yeah. Maeve, DeQuinn, you kind of see Kala kind of shudder a bit at the sound of the Goliaths. Torga continues, kind of seemingly not noticing. I've done a bit of dealing with them in the past, but given how far they are out, I've never been to their actual homes or structures. I don't even know what they live in, to be honest with you, but they're, no offense, dear, they're exactly the type of folk you think they'd be. Reclusive, headstrong, but capable.
Man, I just want to punch her in the face again. Oh, you talk too much. Torga,
Aye?
where's Cephix?
I don't know where Sefik is. I mean, the town went in lockdown for you as it did for us. We broke to the north.
Surely you would know the best of him than all of us. Where do you think he would go? Is your whole band just gone, or where do merchants lie? I don't know. Just tell me.
Well, I don't know much about Sefik. I do know that when I first found him, he was closer to the Sea of the Moving Ice to the north. Roaming around out there, we came across him in our caravan. I don't know, a decade ago, it seems, maybe less. If I had to
Oh,
guess.
there, I hope.
What's that?
I said if he's there, I hope the Black Raven tribe pick out his eyes and lays his body on the frozen ice, never to be seen again.
Okay, sure. But that's all I know. I don't know where he comes from. I don't know where he goes. All I know is he was haphazardly kind of staggering from that northern ocean, and if I had to guess, if he was retreating there, that's where he'd go. But I don't know any more than you. My caravan was ravaged. I think most either weren't brought here or were, and their corpses are strewn across the mountainside now. So I don't know of anyone else that could have any more information about him.
We'll go wherever you want to go, Davos. It's what I have to do.
Yes, let's to the Goliaths.
There's like an awkward silence as Torga kind of like passes her eyes back between Davos and DeQuinn and the rest of you. Well, there's two tribes. I don't know which one our new friend here hails from.
I don't really have anything to do with him, not since I was a little kid. So, I'll probably hang back a little bit. Maybe you can tell she's like visibly nervous. Like she does not want to go back. Pretty obvious. She's not trying to hide it at this point.
I mean, you're free to stay in the cavern if you want. Scared one.
I'm not scared. I mean, things happened, and I am not welcome back at mine, and they'll probably kill me.
Then stay in the cavern.
And here she's kind of back and forth, and she's like, I found people to travel with. I don't. She doesn't want to be on her own, but at the same time, she's still very hesitant. I mean, fine. Yeah, I'll come with you. But the Akhenathi are not as friendly, I think. I mean, I don't know, from what that's where I'm from. Sky Tower Shelter.
Well, if that's where you're from, that's probably the better bet. I've heard whispers that the Aganathi tribe also have griffins at their command.
Yeah, they don't really like outsiders, so.
Well,
Griffins aren't tasty.
well, I would not recommend you say that when we get there, but if we have any chance of getting back to the Tin Towns in one piece and quickly, they're probably the better bet of the two.
Are we sure that's the better bet? I mean, go to the other one. I might be able to not be as conspicuous. I don't know.
All Goliaths are the same, they just respect strength and honor. Regardless whichever we go to, we will convince them.
Maybe we'll let Deckwin do the talking. And you can hang back.
That sounds like a good idea.
I mean, if that's what you want, you're not really in a good mood, but hey, let's do it.
But you have enough strength and courage for all of us, Deckwin.
That might be the problem with Daxi.
Okay, well, I think for the first day or so it's the same direction anyway. But this is still a pretty aggressive hike. So if you need to put on your winter best or lace up your boots, now is probably the time. It's gonna take us at least 3 days travel to get to the Sky Tower shelter, if I've heard correctly.
That is totally look. Does she look like she has the proper clothes for this?
She does. She's pretty well wrapped in furs, though they're damaged slightly from the fights that you guys have had in this cave. The only thing that seems to be kind of missing is any sort of defensive weapon. But no, she's well dressed. Daxi, your mic is fuzzy.
Oh, sorry.
Just letting you know. No, but she's warm. Well then, do we want to take our chances now, or do we want to cook some more meat? We probably have enough meat to live here for about 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe someone else will teleport here.
Do we still have
Yeah,
the
let's-
ring?
DeQuinn, yeah, has the ring, right? As far as I know.
Mm-hmm. I do have the ring, but I'm not wasting 2 to 3 weeks here as a killer is out there on the loose with Pop in its body.
And the ring
Somebody
now
else to show up.
the ring now feels useless to you. You feel like whatever magic that was contained in it has subsided. So it's still ornate. It still has the
It was a pork. One
right. It still has the I think it was a snowflake, but don't quote me on that, etched into the ring.
Yeah, I think it was.
What's the plan?
Well, I said I would follow Davos no matter what he does, so that is what we will do.
All right. Well, as you pack up, do you want the sleeping bags and furs that you found here? You each probably had your own anyway, so I don't know if you need them, but they are fur cloth that, it's always useful to have. Anything else to do in this cave before we put it in our rear view mirror?
I quite liked my bag, my sleeping bag, so I'm gonna pack that up.
Okay.
It was warmer than what I had.
Yeah. So if you have you can add a fur backpack or a fur sleeping sack. If you have one, slightly warmer than what you've been using.
I used my own last night, so I packed that up.
Okay.
Ready to go.
Maeve, anything to do before we take off?
No, just make sure I have everything. Pack up my stuff. Count my dwindling arrows.
How many do you have left?
Oh, I have 17 because I recovered a bunch last.
Okay.
Your
Davos?
excitement over arrows pleases me every single time. I'm just saying.
Well, she's like fighting the rest of her party too, because she's like, "Oh, there's like 4 arrows in that dude," and Dickwynn's like, "I kicked him off of a cliff." And it's just like,
It's actually
okay.
a Daxi. It was a choice of that, right? 'Cause I let go and
But
Daxi
you
like
let
held
me
on
get
to him.
4 arrows back last time.
I did.
So happy.
Davos, anything you want to do before you take off?
Negative.
All right, as you guys begin to exit the cave, one last whiff of that strange blue fire smoke procures from that southwestern cavern. Out of the mouth of the cave, you pass by the dragling wormlings that were pierced under the teeth. The frozen berserker corpses now laying in the cavern and off the path. You start to make your way down this particular mountain, only to see out in the distance just the rolling landscape of other mountains, and you kind of understand that this is not a journey of, straight from point A to point B. It's going to be up and down and around, and it's going to take some time. So who wants to lead the expedition party for the first bout of travel?
I thought we were following Toga.
Tori can lead if you want her to. She understands the direction to go in, and she seems perceptive. But
I'll assist.
She
I'll
is a
assist and also be critical of making sure we're going in the right direction.
I was gonna say Kala could probably lead. Once they get closer, she might step back into a following position to be behind. But
sure. Yeah,
reverse a little bit.
Kala would have the best immediate knowledge of the mountains. Torga understands where the direction they're going in. So, Davos and DeQuinn, you understand the geography, even though you maybe haven't been in this part. Maeve, have you been in this part? I have to actually look around. I don't know that you're too familiar with the mountainous region. We should probably talk about that offline.
I'm more familiar with under the mountains,
right?
On top of them, but
right.
I mean,
and then Adaxi,
I'm
you
sure
would.
I could use my survival skills to at least keep us in the right direction.
And that's really
and make sure that we can avoid things that seem dangerous.
Yeah, that's really the immediate goal. Is like everyone kind of understands the direction to go in. The question is how best to get there. So, someone needs to kind of manage the party and stay focused, through the winds, through the winding paths and things like that. So, you guys have ahead of you several checks to try and to stay on the right path. This is probably about a 10-mile journey, and you can probably cross a day 3.5-4 miles at normal pace. So just to give you kind of an idea of what you're looking at. But it is a survival check. So whoever is going for the first day, you are first up.
I can take that if you'd like.
So that'll be Kala then? Okay.
Okay.
Survival check?
Yep. Just go ahead and roll me 4, and let's see what we're looking at. Oh, +6. Jeez.
Can I help her?
Sure. I'll let you roll the last 2 at advantage, yeah. Sure.
I don't even know what I'm getting because I'm over on the other screen.
Yeah, I know. Wow. Really good. So
Yes.
10, 14, 21, 26. So, for you, Kala, it's less about...
a nat 20.
Yeah, for sure. It's about kind of looking up. You guys see that actually Kyla looks up more than she looks out, which is a little strange. And she kind of looks at the position of the sun, and you can see her looking at the mountains in the distance and looking at the sun, and she thinks to herself for a moment and then she picks a direction that's different from both and then moves in that direction. And it seems odd. It seems like, it's almost like she's just randomly picking the direction. But the travel is easier. You feel like you are able to, you're making good progress, and you're avoiding some of the steeper routes as you kind of backtrack. For Kala especially, you're kind of backtracking from the way that you came to this mountainside. And with Maeve beside you, she identifies slick ice. She identifies sort of treacherous terrain as Kala kind of hones in on the direction to go in. And you guys make your first day of travel really without any issue. It's time to camp. It's time to camp, though. So night is coming quickly, and the temperature is dropping quickly, and yeah, it's starting to get cold quick. So what's the play?
I would think that as we were going, I would try to pick up any, if we found any pieces of wood anywhere, like twigs, anything like that that might be used for a fire later.
Okay.
Because once we get there, there might not be, where we camp, there might not be much for trees where we're at. So I'm going to be like walking along, picking up sticks as we're going as well.
Okay. Yeah, roll just a perception check. Sure. You're able to find some tinder here and there, and you, even though it's kind of snow covered when you pick it up, you tuck it away in the bag to dry it off some, so that it's usable when you actually need it.
Once we get settled, I'm going to bonfire.
Okay. Where are we getting settled? You're in mountainous terrain, so it is not much besides rock and snow. There's the occasional sort of like patch of trees that you come across that have kind of cropped up on the side of the mountain. So I guess the question is, do you want to kind of like hug the mountain and kind of camp there, or do you want to find a patch of like wooded area and do that?
Anything to try and block the wind.
Are there any caves?
We had bad experiences with caves.
Kala's new. She doesn't know this yet.
Whoever's looking, you can roll a perception check and see what's around the area. Oof, good
Nice.
lord! All right, between the duo leading the charge here. Okay, wow, just really pile it on the whole party. You are able to find a sort of not nearly as deep as the cave that you came from, but you're able to. Thanks, Adaxi. Really put the cherry on the top there. You're able to find a carved out section of the stone there, yeah, and it's not deep, but it will stop the wind and allow you to sort of create a bonfire that will actually, the heat will kind of settle in the room, which is nice, because it's getting very cold very quickly. Nighttime is approaching, so it's just a matter of, is everyone going to take a long rest again, or do you want to run shifts?
I think we will run shifts, yeah.
I'll take a watch.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm
Watch
assuming my good berries have now expired. I'm going to cast it one time just to have one set for tomorrow.
I think it's 24 hours, so you could probably do it the next morning if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you waste a spell slot.
That's true.
Okay, I want to do it before long rest. I guess.
Okay.
Ah, so it's not-
Gamify the system, probably. But that's fine. That's cool. That's what we're all here to do. Okay, so it's typically 2 hours for everyone. Is anyone not taking watch this time?
No, I'll take everyone. I will.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Okay, so
I'm
we'll just
skipping.
split it up. Everyone, let's see. Yeah, we'll just have like a team perception check round. So let's see kind of where we land here. So two rolls actually. We're just gonna roll the hell out of it today. Let's roll a perception check for watch, and then a regular 20 for just sort of the constitution of dealing with the cold. You get +5 for all the furs if you have fur blankets and things like that, and you get a +5 for the fire. So
At 10.
So +10.
we'll just roll a 20, and we can just keep up with the numbers. So Odaxi, You're an asshole. You're
The
good.
warmest.
Yeah.
I'm the warmest.
DeQuinn, 15 is good.
Hot-blooded.
Oh, your perception's 5, so plus 7. Or 17 is the d20. Okay. Okay, 19's good. 11 plus 10 is fine. Am I missing anyone? Davos, did you roll? Oh, Davos is 11.
Dax.
Great.
Oh, Dax, he's like shedding clothes. He's hot.
Yeah, no.
On fires, like he's taking off layers at this point.
Yeah, so the night rolls by. DeQuinn, you're still kind of off center, frustrated. You had a very similar dream again that night, and it's been kind of eating away at you some.
Oh man, you're killing me.
Yeah, you wake up and you just feel off, and it's hard to know why. And during your watch, you see out of the corner of eye, you think someone is sneaking up on the party, and you're sure of it, and you go and you swing your halberd and cut across, and you actually chop off a kind of this plant that's growing off the side of the mountain. You clean off the side. It kind of falls and rolls down the side of the mountain, which only amplifies your frustration. But the party is largely, left alone for the night, and, can get some rest and stays warm. I don't think anyone rolled so poorly that they weren't able to sleep, so that's good. And
Can I go see Carla straight away with the sapling, please?
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, she's sleeping.
Carla. I wake her up.
What?
Can you replant this? I built
I
off
mean-
this land. It grows out of rock.
It grows out of rock, and you cut off the roots.
I know.
I mean, can I look at the plant and tell if I know anything about it? It might be able to.
Roll a nature check.
Is it something? Nature's not that great, surprisingly. Not that smart.
Yeah, this is not looking good.
But okay, but you know what? Yeah, I go over and I tuck it into the crevice of the rock, and I'm
Okay.
like, trust me, in another 2 weeks, that thing's gonna be as healthy as anything. Does it work? What's my performance?
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
I don't think it matters.
Let's see. Can I roll
Sure.
performance?
Sure. Yeah, it's a great roll. But you
Not as good as his.
You see the tears start to well up into Quinn's eyes, and they almost freeze instantly. And he is so attuned with sort of the natural life of plants and plant life that as you start to shove it in the crack and stuff, he just kind of looks and heartbroken. He knows that the second you guys both go in the cave, the wind's gonna take that plant and just whisk it off the side of the mountain.
I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't mean to lie to you. I just wanted
No, it's okay. I'm used to being disappointed with any other party member. Let's go. I'm sick of this stupid frickin' thing.
Listen.
Don't
No, look-
talk to
look.
me. I've had enough.
It's gonna be okay.
It's not
what
going to be
we'll do-
okay.
What we'll do is we'll make sure it didn't die in
It'll be
vain, and
okay.
we'll use it to heat with the fire. We'll use it for the fire, and then it didn't
No,
go
you
in
don't
vain.
understand.
We're-
That little creature over there was surviving in such a harsh winter, and I chop it down. I cut its life short.
You guys are
Do you
woke.
understand what I would see if I saw someone doing that in front of me? I'll knock out their bloody knees and make them crawl back to the camp that they came from. See if they would survive being limbered. Maybe I should
Don't
take
Has
up
this
my own knees.
conversation woken the rest of us up by now?
Yes. For the second night in a row, DeQuinn battering another party member that was asleep wakes the rest of you up.
I'm gonna walk over
Kala
to
is
DeQuinn
confused.
and use the butt of my is it a short sword, I think?
Okay.
And I'm just gonna whack him with the hilt of it.
Oh no.
I'm
Sure.
turning around and picking her up by the scruff.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's take this one step at a
And-
time, I
and-
guess.
As
Where you gonna strike him at? Just like in the chest or the head, or?
Just wherever I can reach. Like I'm still laying down.
Oh,
so
so you're
like, I
just
just kind of
whipping
sit up
out?
and whack him in the shin. Like
Okay.
can I enter? Can I try to do something to?
I tell you
calm
what.
everybody down?
I will. Okay. Jesus, I thought you guys were just gonna rest for the night, but this got all insane. Let's do.
What do you mean? You gave me the same dream again. You made me cut down a tree sapling. Of course this is gonna happen.
I think
I'm running off 3 hours sleep right now.
I think with Maeve's reflex, she does get a good strike on like the shin of DeQuinn. And DeQuinn, you said you reach down and kind of grab her by like the nape of her.
I just wanna. I'm not going to choke her or anything. I just wanna lift her up so she can lie inside of
So
myself.
Maeve gets pulled out of her bed rest, and
there,
Davos.
do you feel better, you big lug?
I will feel better when I can sleep at night. You and I aren't on any good relationship terms where you could just hit me with a weapon and not expect any retaliation.
Look,
That
you're
is
the
a
one who was
declaration of
complaining,
war.
saying that if you saw someone do it, that you would whack them. So I whacked you.
You did not. That is not a whack. I am not groveling on my knees. That is what I would do to someone
In
who
what
killed a sapling.
world can I put you on your knees?
Nothing's impossible. I've seen you put 5 hours in a dude before he's able to blink. There's nothing wrong with your combat
I'm not
capabilities.
trying to kill you, am I?
Well, maybe I deserve death because I've killed a nature. I've killed a tree.
Oh
Ulfgard
my God,
himself
it's-
may smite me where I stand.
I need more sleep to be able to deal with this.
Then go sleep. Sleep in the snow, little fox. And I'll just throw her across from a bed.
You throw her where?
Just like next to her bed.
Okay.
So like not
Just
in
kinda
a comfy
drop her.
place, but... Yeah, pretty much.
Davos.
Yeah. I guess at that point I'd help pick her up and say, yeah, he's not normally like this, and then I'd try to go out to wherever he's stewing.
I'm so confused. Wasn't
Um,
he trying to kill a red yeti? I don't even know. Like, if he's so against killing, why is he trying to kill the red yeti? I'm just, or is it just plain? I don't know. I don't know.
I think he likes trees.
I mean, I like trees too, but
He really
Is it-
likes trees.
we just want to make sure it didn't go to waste. Right?
Adaxi and Kala are kind of conversing inside the mouth of this cave, and Maeve, I just picture kind of like huffs and like curls back up underneath the fur and just like
100%.
yeah, just kind of like almost like a teenager, like pulls the fur over her head and just kind of like gets ready to like try to go back to sleep. Davos,
Completely ridiculous.
you guys just hear muffling and rummaging from underneath this like fur bed rest. Odaxi and Kala. DeQuinn, would you step out for a second to get some
I think
air?
so. I think I just move
That-
out, and if I see a chopped down tree, I'm gonna lose it. By the way, but yes, I get out.
You scan the mountainside that you're on, and there are no chopped trees. Out of the corner of your eye, you see like the glint of like the stone that you cracked with the halberd, and you huff a little bit, frustrated. But no, there's no other man or minotaur made destruction in the mountainside. Davos kind of wraps up in his cape and hood and steps out onto the precipice of this sort of mountain beside you.
Terrible thing about that tree, huh, buddy?
Tree wasn't terrible. I was the terrible thing.
Well, listen, everyone makes mistakes. I've made mistakes. This is no reason to start hurting our friends.
I did not hurt anyone. I really just moved someone who hit me. That is all. I mean, I could have snapped it like a twig in my hand.
Of
Or
course
I
you
shouldn't
could.
have used that analogy. I don't want to snap a twig.
Oh no, no, never. But like No, we know you're very strong. You're the best.
Yes, I am
Who's,
strong.
who's stronger than you? Huh? Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. You're great. You know what, DeQuinn? You're not DeQuinn the okay horns. Sid, you're DeQuinn the immaculate horn.
My horns
You're
aren't the
bigger
ones
than
in
the
question here, Davos.
yeah,
My horns are always immaculate and damaging
I
weapons.
know.
But me and this halberd. Here, take my halberd. I cannot use it no more. I'm
I,
afraid what I might do.
like I
You
can
hand
hold
him the halberd, it
Um,
almost cripples him because from the weight.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can hold that. Yeah. Listen. Hey, those horns, they grow out of your head, right? And what's in your head? Your
And-
brain.
Yeah.
You know what they say. You could a brain like that grow? Could a bad brain grow immaculate horns? No.
No, you're right. It takes a strong
A
brain.
strong brain.
Grow these
A strong
immaculate
brain.
horns.
And what's the
Mm.
shortest distance from the brain? The heart. That's what they say.
Oh
Okay.
no!
I
was going
know.
somewhere else with that
I
one.
know. I know. We're gonna get through it together, right? Good heart, good brain, good horns. Everything's gonna be fine.
But
Okay, you're
Davos,
just a little
that's not very good.
You're just a little sleepy.
I keep
That's
having
okay.
these dreams, Davos. You're laughing at me. Everyone's out there having a good time in this stupid cabin saying they're going to hunt. And you can't hear me. You drink a fucking flagon in front of me and ignore my existence. Look at me. Nobody can ignore me. But you did. You, Carla, Walrus, and the Fox all ignored me.
It's a great band name, but that's for another day. The
Oh, you, Davos, I don't want to be a band.
you wrote a song.
You're not
Who's
meant to
gonna-
know that. How
who's
did you
gonna-
know that?
You told me
I did.
for sure.
My brain's failing me right now.
No. Look at those horns. Could your brain get
can't.
down your
He, like,
see my
you
own
see
horn.
DeQuinn like looks up
I
and try and see his
I
horns,
kind
but he
of-
can't.
I kind of panic and like rush him to some ice to like hope there's a little bit of reflection. Look at those horns.
No,
at
there's
those
no
horns, huh?
there's no ice anywhere.
I
It's
cast
reflective.
Mirror.
You cast mirror, the spell mirror. I don't know that I know that
minor illusion. Minor illusion. Looks like a mirror.
one. Okay. I don't
Okay, look at those
know.
horns, buddy. It's gonna be fine. Good horns, good brain, good heart. Have I ever ignored you? Huh?
No.
Have you? Yeah. You're the closest thing I've got to a friend out here for the last however many years.
I think just traveling with everyone is getting to me.
Yeah, I get it. Look at those weirdos.
I
But there
don't
are,
really-
but there are weirdos. They're our weirdos.
We're literally traveling with a walrus.
There,
Davos.
I know. It's so silly. It's so silly. But those are our weirdos.
I mean, I try to protect them whenever we fight, and
And
that's
you do
what's
so
fun.
good. So good.
Yeah.
So let's forget about that one little mishap with the tree.
I
Okay,
was
let's.
thinking it, but now you just reminded me.
Yeah, but well, it's okay. We're gonna
Maybe
get over it.
God will punish me later for it.
Hush there. It's gonna be fine.
I don't like to be striked, Davos.
And we listened, and we will be talking to her.
You best do the talking because I'm
I've-
afraid of my.
I just so agree with everything you just said. Everything's gonna be fine.
But I like foxes, Davos, so don't be too harsh on them.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
I appreciate your counsel.
Hey, Davos.
Yeah,
You know
but
how I got a big, strong brain?
I do.
I have only been getting these images in my head ever since that Goliath traveling with us, or Torga. So I was thinking of maybe having an experiment.
Yeah, let's. Yeah. I could chat.
I'm probably gonna be quiet for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you know what? That's okay. But if you need something, I'm right here.
Thanks, Davos.
Yeah, buddy.
Can I have my halberd back?
Yeah, it's right there on the floor. I actually
He
can't.
dropped it immediately.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I can't even pick it up.
Yeah, as you
There
handed
you
it to him, he just casually just like laid it down as softly as he could, but it's still clanging against the
It's very heavy.
Davos, roll an intelligence check. Roll a insight check with advantage. That seems right. You've been traveling with DeQuinn for a long time, and he doesn't usually have these sort of outbursts. And there's something to what he said that it's only since you guys slept at the cave with the berserkers and the whole weirdos that he's been off. Probably not the cave itself because you're now miles away from it, but there's something haunting him, similar to like what was haunting Odaxi, although Odaxi was very clearly the
curse.
the things that you removed from that cave. And you've been with DeQuinn since he's held those items, and that doesn't seem to be affecting him in the same manner. So there's something else that's new to the equation that's just throwing the vibe off for DeQuinn.
Are you alluding to the fact that it's not an item? Because I want to pitch that ring he's got off of the...
I'm alluding to the fact that it's not the cursed pearl of power that you guys have, right? Because like, you passed that off. It was I think Odaxi was using it. It was causing him to be restless in his sleep. DeQuinn's been holding it.
No, I think it's back at.
No, I thought
No,
we
we
left
did-
it
we
at the
did for sure.
monastery.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
even better. Yeah, even better. It was I
So, yeah,
cheated.
it's not with us at all.
I cheated and checked the other day. It was still in Odaxi's inventory because he doesn't do inventory
is.
management probably as quite
Well,
as well as
no,
he should.
you said don't. I asked you, and you said
Oh,
don't
okay.
delete
Yeah.
it.
Anyway,
Just
yeah.
forget
Yeah.
about it.
So it's well, then it's very clearly not that item because it's not even within 500 miles of you guys. So
I put in my notes, not in my possession.
so it's very similar to that, but it's been recent and affecting DeQuinn only, which seems strange.
Can that... Hey,
DeQuinn's
that
kind of
ring...
he's kind of
that
sulking
ring-
back to the cave as you say this.
Could I see that ring?
Yep, sure. Here you go. I don't have
okay,
any
yeah,
other
I'll just...
ring. Doesn't even.
Yeah,
feel
I know.
like-
I like the finer things. Guilty as charged, and I'll like pretend to put it on. And then
Mhm.
as he like turns back towards the cave, I'll take it away and throw it in my pocket.
Do you just turn back to Quinn?
Yeah, I don't want it.
Okay. So you're just
Just
putting
a
it in
ring.
in your pocket for now.
Is there anything I can tell? Like when he's not looking, I want to like take a closer look. Is there anything I noticed
It's
about it?
it is of the same. No, it's just a standard handmade ring of I don't know, probably if I had to guess, some sort of stone, some sort of mountainous stone. Nothing seems. The weirdest thing that you saw was it teleported you to that cave. And
Right.
since then it's been inactive. So
Okay.
it's just got a snowflake etched kind of unprofessionally in the side of the ring. Which I mean, you could put it on and then see what happens in an hour when you attune to it if it's a magical item, but without a spell or anything like that, that's really your only options.
I'm just gonna keep it in my pocket for now.
Okay. DeQuinn, what shift did you take tonight? Do we even know what time of night it is? Is it the middle of the night and everyone needs to get to go back to bed, or were you finishing up the shift?
I think I would have. This would be after the dream, so I assume it will be early in the morning, the last shift again.
Okay. So, Davos, you're kind of squinting as you see the sun in the far distance start to come up. It's early, but luckily, like you still got a pretty good amount of rest before DeQuinn cause chaos again. But yeah, then a new day starts, and round 2 of travel to the Goliath to the southeast begins. So who wants to take the second round? And just to make it fun, I'm gonna say it can't be the person with +6 survival this time. It can't be Kala, so someone else gets to take the reins.
I can do it. Although
Thanks, Adaxi.
I'll request Torga's help on this leg,
Oh, interesting.
but I'll lead. But ask for the help with that.
Okay. Then let's see. Let me pull her up here. Oh, okay. Well then, roll me another just 4 survival rolls. That sounds exciting. It's really a survival roll every hour, but I'm not making you roll 13 survival rolls. And then you get advantage on I'll give you advantage on 2 of them. So
I'll roll super advantage on this last one.
sure.
Yeah.
I still don't know what super advantage even means.
It rolls 3 times. Looks
Does it?
like it.
Okay. Jesus, 20, 20, 20. Okay, so 18, 15, 12, 20, 20. Yeah. You do just fine. Same sort of fashion. You guys kind of mirror Kala and Maeve's split roles, where one of you is kind of keeping focus on the direction you're traveling in a Daxi that's, right up your alley, and Torga is keeping the terrain in check and trying to make sure that you guys don't get caught off guard by any creatures or slippery slopes or anything like that. And you guys are able to navigate again, down one side of the mountain face, up the other, and you guys kind of look back, and in the distance, Kala is pointing you guys to the direction of the Goliath camps and the mountain that you guys should be aiming for. And you're starting to see that, you're feeling progress this time as you're now closer to where you're going than where you came from. So another successful day of travel.
Kala's still gonna. It's more urgent now that she makes sure that she collects enough firewood for the night, because now she realizes what happens if they have to take down a tree.
Yeah, so you're looking for just tinder. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Make another perception check.
I'll help with that one.
Sure. You can either roll separate, or you can roll Kala. You can roll with advantage.
So my perception, +4 is not bad.
Okay,
Let's see.
23. Yeah, you're able to much more diligently this time find the bits and pieces of some scrap wood that maybe someone else has caused, or something else has caused. Roll roll just for fun, like a sleight of hand.
Oh, that's not very good. But
Yeah, as you're seeing these pieces of wood all across the ground, I figure that Kala was trying not to upset DeQuinn in his emotional state, and trying to kind of gather them, without triggering DeQuinn. But as you're doing so, you kind of stumble onto one, and you have trouble pulling it out, and you see him look back and then kind of huff and put his shoulders down and continue to press forward. But like I said, another successful day of travel. It's again, sun comes up, the sun comes down, the temperature goes from slightly freezing to now getting very, very cold very quickly. So who wants to take charge of finding the camp? Should we just keep it Odaxi and Torga one good time again?
Sure, I can find a camp.
Sure.
Mhm.
You're a camper. Roll with advantage for another survival check. Jeez.
wow,
Yeah, no
So good
problem.
at surviving.
You guys
find
really,
me, Andy?
really good survival. It's almost like you're preparing for a.
I've been
Arctic-
out
ar-
on
ar-
my own a lot
That's true. That's true. You are a traveler.
before this. Yes.
So what kind of camp do you want to set up? In the vicinity here, you're starting to get
An
towards.
immaculate one.
Oh, you're starting to get towards a basin of sorts. As like the path forward now is not up and down the mountainous terrain, but through this sort of I'm not very geographically
valley?
inclined. Yeah, like a valley of sorts in front of you. So to block the wind, you probably have to erect something. So maybe you can like muscle up some loose rock and
All right,
kind of
let's
start.
knock this tree down.
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Oh, it's all fun and games when you take some of the minutes
No.
already. Huh?
Well, I
It's
don't know
whatever
if
you-
low
narr-
ground
narrative-
is what we want.
Narratively, whatever you want, like everything's kind of at your disposal. So like, don't feel like it makes a difference. You rolled fine, so it's just a matter of kind of whatever flavor you.
Oh,
wanna put on it.
okay. Was there any like rock overhangs or something
Yeah, totally. You
around
can
here?
you find like this piece of rock that's kind of jutting out, and then you actually find some other smaller, slender pieces of rock, and you can almost create like your own little cave from that outcropping if you wanted to, and like create some like
Oh.
makeshift walls, and just to
Yeah,
kind of
move some other rocks around.
between you, DeQuinn, I think the two strongest people here. And God knows Davos isn't doing anything. I don't know what Kala and
Get that
Maves is up
mage
to.
hand out.
Yeah, you actually, as you're moving rocks, you do see a mage hand come around and like just rest
It's
on,
like dusting.
but it does nothing, right? It's
cleaning the debris off the ground so we can
Yeah.
set up our packs.
yeah. So with two of you, kind of make your own makeshift cave.
Yeah, but it's every time somebody puts something up, it like taps it. And that was just yep.
Like
that's sturdy.
structural engineer.
It's a
yeah,
structural-
engineer.
Sturdy
Yeah,
check, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that looks good.
That's funny as hell.
Really helpful. Yeah, you make a little outcrop, a little cave out of nothing.
There you go. All right. It's another round of.
I want. Yeah, are we
Go ahead.
doing a long rest? Can I prepare spells
You can.
at this point? Oh, I already had it, man.
You can't. You can. Yeah, you can change whatever spells you want at each long rest.
Well, I want to help. Okay, so the ring. Can I identify the ring?
If you want to retcon, and if Davos would have
No.
brought it up to you, you can prepare identify and talk to him about identifying it if you want to.
I mean, there's no one else in the party that I would have brought that to besides Udaxi.
For sure, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it would make sense in the scheme of your guys' relationship, and you know that he's a knowledgeable, traveling cleric. So I mean, I would totally be okay with that if that's a conversation you wanted to have. And so you have identify prepared, and you want to use it
Yeah, it
on
was
the
already
ring.
there.
Sure.
Yeah, to try to, assist with that investigation, whatever's happening with
Okay.
the Quinn, or if the ring had anything to do with it.
Sure. So as you guys kind of settle down, and I'll say just for the sake of like keeping track of things, like last night, the night before, you guys probably spent another 5 pounds of meat, unless you're doing good berries or whatever you want to do, for sustenance.
I will definitely offer good berries to anyone that wants it.
Torga will take it again, but also cook a little meat just because it still weirds her out, I think.
They
She-
addictive?
The good berries? No. They're just weird, right? The spell is like one berry has enough sustenance for an entire 24 hours.
That's funny.
Is it thirst and hunger?
I don't know if it's thirst or not.
I don't know either.
Enough
I've-
nourishment.
Yeah.
Enough nourishment to sustain a creature for one day.
Yeah, so I would say yes,
And
right?
it gives you 1 hit point.
And it gives you 1 hit point. So they're great
real-
for distributing amongst party members in case the actual healer goes down. But yeah, she'll cook a little meat. So we'll say then for the sake of just keeping up with it, that like it's only like 2 pounds a night as you guys are traveling. So around the campfire tonight, Adaxi, you settled in and you kind of take the ring, and you can cast it ritually, right? Although if you want to just do a spell slot, it's probably not going to matter.
Yeah, we'll just use a spell slot, and then we're having a rest anyway. So
Yeah, so you do the incantation and you cast it on the ring and you wait for this moment of clarity, and it's just a fucking ring.
all
There's
right,
no
Davos, it's just a fucking ring
there's no there's no sort of
with a damn snowflake on it. This thing's pewter, for God's sake.
yeah, there's it. It's like that. It's like the knockoff.
Cracker Jack.
What's the rings you can buy that are not actual rings, and your wife would kill you if you bought? I was gonna make
Cubic
a joke, but
zirconian.
yeah, exactly,
Cubic,
exactly. Yeah, it's like that kind of stone, you know, like
It's the one you get in the candle when you melt the candle and you pull the ring out.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's nothing, and there's no curse. There's no maleficent forces coming from it.
Davos, this ring's garbage. We should throw it away. Unless you like the look of it.
I guess it looks pretty neat. Maybe we could use it for.
Fool someone else
something
into
later.
buying it.
Yeah, yeah. I would share with Odaxi the concern about DeQuinn's mental state and when that breakdown started.
Okay.
Did it? It was like the flame in the cave.
Make a.
Has something to do with that?
I just wanted you to make a straight intelligence check, or do I want you to do something else? Make a history check, Odaxi. Are you proficient in like history and?
I am.
That's what I figured. Make a history check. Oof. It's been a
Not
really.
good at recalling it though.
It's been a really chaotic just number of days, and like there was the igloos, and then that was strange, and Maeve, and then there was also that weird little fucking dwarf that disappeared, and it's just like too many variables like immediately come to mind.
Yeah.
But the
I
night's
can't
still
think of
early,
when
and
it exactly started. Yeah.
maybe it was the ring. I don't know. What do you
I
guys
don't
want
know.
to do?
I don't know. Just we should keep an eye out.
Will do. It's
While
concerning.
they're-
He's not normal. Not as he
While
usually
they're-
is.
While they're discussing it, I go over to Quinn and I'm like, "Can I show you something?" Hi.
Actually, Carl, I was meaning to ask you something as well.
Yeah, sure.
When we, I don't want to imply that we're bedding down together, but when we sleep in the same area, can you sleep at least like 30, 20 feet away from me, please?
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Anyway, you want to show me something?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Get
Now I'm like,
away.
This dude wants me to sleep like 30 feet away. I'm like, and she pulls out. She's got a little moonstone, and she holds it up. And she said, I just want to show you this. And she puts it in front of the fire so the light's shining through it. And when she does, you'll see, like, it's her star map. So you see like a bunch of stars project on the wall of this cave that they've built. And she says, "Look, I just want you to look, like, over here. These are the stars and the constellations, and it's one of the things I study. And look here." And she points at this arrangement of stars. And she said, "That's a constellation called the Tree of Life." I know it's not your thing, the stars and the constellations and stuff, but like, I always believed that when any of the life force that's in any of the plants, they return to the Tree of Life when they're done. And I just wanted to show you that. I mean, it happens. Life's cyclical, the whole, Simba thing. No one there would know what Simba is, but she's just the Simba thing. It's the circle of life. Things happen, and sometimes bad things happen, but eventually it makes its way around again.
I understand the circle of life, and I will ask you a question in regards to this, whatever this is. But you don't seem to understand. Like, yes, it does die in wither, but if you were to sleep out in the cold without any clothes on, you would die, yes?
I mean, I almost did.
Hmm. Now, these
never mind.
trees that live in this sort of environment do this day in, day out. For such a thing to live in such a reckless environment, who am I, or to anyone take away their life? Be it a tree of sustenance or whatever you call it that people need it for. They deserve a chance to live as well.
Aren't you hunting the red yeti?
Red Yetis are different, that's a sport, and they deserve to die because they kill other things. But it's actually Ulfgar himself that had laid this law upon us, and anyone who bears the mark of the ancestral protection must abide by these laws as well.
Oh, okay. I don't get the ancestral protection thing, but I mean,
It's because I don't trust you, Carla.
okay. Looks a little disappointed because up until last night when he freaked out at her, she thought that they were becoming friends. Okay. I mean, okay. I don't know what I did to not have your trust, but
Well, we will find out when you sleep 30 feet away from me whether I have this dream or not.
sure. I mean,
Now on your map, show me where everyone that I decapitate and divide go to.
she looks at her map and she kind of twists it a little bit, and you can see random. And she's like, I don't know for sure about that one, but maybe. And she kind of looks around and is looking for. I'm looking for something here. She said, "This is the chalice." She says, and that's a healing constellation. Maybe once you divide them, they go there to heal again. I don't know. Maybe.
That sounds like pish posh to me. It sounds like you send them to a cup so someone could drink them. You know what I mean? Just like. Anyway, don't worry about that. I think it's very cool, Carla, that you have something that you believe in. Oh, but so does everyone else. Thank you for showing this to me. Maybe one day you'll understand the ancestral protection that will maybe bestow upon you, but we will not do that as of yet. And once again, just want to reiterate that you have to stay 30 feet away from me when we sleep at night. Thank you.
Okay. She kind of packs her little jewel gem away, and she heads off to make sure her bedding area is like off in the corner by itself.
Having watched this, I heard lips smack. Someone else want to say something?
I just wanted to look up to the stars to see if I could see the tree. If there's stars shining tonight, which probably won't be, but I would like to look up anyway.
You look up and you see no stars because of the thick. I guess actually at night you might see stars, but before you even see them, you see in the night this. Or I can never say it on first try. The Aurora Borealis. That's not the right. That's sort of like streams of light in the atmosphere above you. This pinks and
Aurora
greens. Thank you,
Borealis.
Thank you so much.
Oh, good.
But the D&D version, which is called the Aurora Borealis.
Oh, really?
So you didn't
That's
know
funny.
that, yeah. So
Nope.
roll a history check.
What are you talking about? I know everything about D&D.
Yeah, no. That sort of I still can't say it now that you've told me the name. I can't think of it in my head. You see the pinks.
Well, I was wrong. So
You see the pink.
Aurora Polaris is what it's called.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, I could be wrong.
All right. Well, you guys get the drift, right? That pinks and greens and sort of wavy, like almost like a celestial tide, like flowing over the sky. And through that, there are stars. So roll a perception check.
Gladly.
We lost
Serenity
Serenity.
now.
Oh no! Serenity.
Yeah, it says Aurora Polaris
Okay.
is for Forgotten Realms.
Oh, interesting. Oh, the actual. You actually looked at the D&D name for it.
Yeah, I just typed in Aurora Borealis D&D.
Oh, that's awesome. It's tough, you know. Like this whole thing is new to you, and you're like kind of on edge, and you see what could be a ton of trees, which is kind of comforting. Also, kind of frustrating because you're looking for that very specific set of stars that she alluded to. And yeah, it's just tough. It's tough to kind of pick out that specific tree.
Maybe this is more frustrating than I thought it would be. I just want to glance up to make sure I'm 30 feet away from her and go to bed.
When you glance, you're actually almost 30 feet away from everyone. You know, everyone's kind of
Keeping
giving
our
you some
distance.
space to figure out your shit right now.
Great, now I feel alone.
There's a piece of that. There's a piece of that dream that kind of come back and flashes in front of you for a moment. But I mean, you know, there's two new party people here that you haven't met before. So it's, you know, it's probably good for tonight. You know, it's fine. You know.
Torga's like totally unbound, right? We're not keeping an eye out or anymore.
It's on you guys, I suppose, right?
But we haven't been binding her up.
Not that I know of.
I don't know. I mean,
And
it's been
she's-
like 2 days.
She's also, you know, on the other side of the cavern, just kind of giving DeQuinn his space. So, you know, she's not doing anything differently than anyone else.
Actually, I would like to do something before I go to bed.
Okay.
I would like to rage.
Don't go to bed. Don't go to bed angry.
I
That's
almost-
the
Yes.
first rule.
spit my beer all over the screen.
I
Sure.
would like to call upon my ancestor that dwells within me.
I
the
see.
shaman.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Yup.
So you kind of like almost in a meditative rage, right?
That's
like
what I want to do. Meditate while trying to commune with Apollo.
I'm imagining a very angry sound coming from him.
You actually see the tattoos light up on Adaxi's horns and
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Dallas's hands.
Kala and Serenity, they're like starting to tuck into bed and get ready to go to sleep. Kala, you see this ornate sort of pattern, bluish, right, DeQuinn?
Yeah.
Etched into the horns of Adaxi and across. I didn't. Davos's face is really the only thing exposed, as far as I know. You see them both kind of light up blue, and at first it's off-putting, Kala, but almost immediately after that, it's comforting. And you can see that they notice it for a second, and they both look at DeQuinn, and you can see all over his body. And stop me if I'm wrong, DeQuinn. You know, I forget these things, right? You see that sort of same blue light and tribal tattoos glow. What were you saying, Adaxi?
I want to just close my eyes, still being 30 feet away, offering guidance, but not the actual spell guidance. Just trying to like bring my calm over to DeQuinn while
Okay.
he's focusing on this.
Sure. So you kind of
So
also
I'll just sit in my fur, my soft fur sleeping bag, and try to just focus and be meditative as well.
Okay. So in a moment of what seems like it's I wouldn't say panic, but like a bit of like quick chaos, Kala, and Serenity, you both see Davos, or you see DeQuinn, or sorry, you see Odaxi, kind of perk up and sit as well, and kind of like almost mirroring, I think, DeQuinn's, I wouldn't say rage, but his energy that's coming out, and then just take and just kind of pause and try to attune to it, I guess is the right way to say it. Davos, what are you doing as your tattoos light up?
Sorry, I stepped away for a minute.
DeQuinn has raged. He's gonna
Heard that
rage
part.
sleep. Yeah.
Yes.
And Odaxi has, in response, kind of just sat up and also like just relaxed for a second and just let whatever is happening kind of happen.
Because we're all glowing.
You're all glowing.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna lay still, pondering.
DeQuinn, what's that?
Sorry.
No.
I went to my pinky and brain moment. Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Kala and Maeve, as you guys are also sitting back in the cave, you see a glimpse. I picture, and as always, correct me if you think differently. I picture kind of Kala is looking at her constellation, like looking like trying to like find the way that kind of soothe and mend the relationship with DeQuinn. And as you're looking at it, you see two figures form in the stars from stars that weren't there, and these two figures kind of loosely settle in the direction of Odaxi, and you're looking and it seems strange, like these aren't constellations, and this kind of movement seems unnatural as well. And as you look at Davos, this, and hold your stone in that similar direction, you see another larger built figure, right, DeQuinn? Like sturdier, almost like heavily armored
Davos
figure.
is like a big. Yeah, like
Sorry.
Davos is a large, hulking figure with a great sword, like half-plated elf.
Right, and
That's
that
always needs to stand on guard.
so you kind of like you see again in the constellation of your stars this figure form with incredible detail, and this bluish light from both of them form in front of you, and then they kind of fade almost as quickly as it came.
And this came, it looked like in my constellations.
Mm-hmm. But you could tell, like, as you held it towards each, as you were like looking, they were in the direction of both this now blue glowing Loxodon and this blue glowing humanoid human figure over there to the right, Odaxi and Davos, respectively. There's some strange.
Kind of in awe at this point. She's not put off like you would think. The blue glowing, before she looked through her stone, even the blue glowing, she actually almost seemed excited a little bit about it, to see something like this. And she almost has a moment where it's just like, okay, this is it. This is right. This is where I should be.
Mm-hmm.
And that came to her at this point because of things that you'll see with her later at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
Where she's just like, yeah, this is what my purpose is right now. And
Yeah.
so she just immediately goes to I'm with my people. I just have to make sure I fix whatever the hell's going on that I'm not trustworthy at this point.
And Maeve, I picture kind of also like, I think she probably would have laid down, kind of like huffing a little bit, like ready to go to bed, kind of done with some of the drama that DeQuinn's been causing lately, but then also like now feels and senses. She's very attuned to her surroundings, and she kind of perks up almost instinctively and looks around and sees that something's going on. All right, I think DeQuinn, you have like what, a minute of rage, like without taking damage that you can sustain. Is that right?
Oh, it's like 6 seconds.
Oh, it's
I
like
guess,
six
but
seconds. Yeah, it's
if I
super
don't take
quick.
damage, yeah. But if I have to technically like burn through my rage or whatever it is, I will, which would give me
Sure, because
2
well, you got to go to
seconds.
bed
But
too. Yeah, you got to bed too. Um make a con save. As I pull this out of thin air here, make a con save. Let's see if you can muster that sort of that inner strength here. Oh, okay, okay,
Wow.
okay. So in a moment of which should be like which should be rage, which should be fighting, which should be aggression, which should be taking and dealing with pain. Um, you were frustrated, you were tired, you felt ostracized, and you call on your ancestral guardians, and you see the two. They're twins. Are they twins? Right, with Odaxi? Or are they
yeah,
just yeah? So you see the twins.
yeah.
You see the familiar armored like vanguard um, in front of Davos, and in the corner of your eye, you look up to the sky and you see all of those stars and all those life trees that you saw before. Um, and you see like a blue blip, like for a moment, just very quickly. Um, and it seems strange. And as you look up to to see it, you look back in front of you, and you see the very similar visage of Pup. This sort of young, full of life, elvish, right? Most of them are elvish, I believe.
Yeah, she's a young
Yeah,
elvish. They're all winter elves.
in front of you, and she's just kind of like leaning like on her knees and kind of like leaning forward, and she's like, incredibly close, like almost it's almost alarming. And she kind of looks at you. She gives you a quick wink, and then she reaches out at you, and for a moment, it kind of feels like she's gonna reach into you. But she reaches past you, actually around your back. Um, you feel your halberd move for a second, and then you don't. And then you hear the clang of metal at your feet. And in that second, it's probably been 10, 20, 30 seconds pass, and you have been trying to hold this rage, this sort of non-combative rage, as much as you can, and it slips and it's gone. But you hear the clang of metal in front of you, and it kind of rocks at your feet, and you look down and you see this javelin. You see this javelin that you took, I don't know, it seems like an eon ago, of that black sort of encrusted tip, and it just rocks there and settles. Your tattoos fade. Tattoos from Davos, the tattoos from Odaxi, they fade. And that's where we'll take a quick 5-minute break and then come back because I have to use the bathroom.
Copy.
Fair, fair.
All right, so take a quick fiver, and then we'll come right back and we'll pick this back up where we left off.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We're live again. Okay. Your ancestral guardians are gone. It's now eerily quiet in the cave here, and that javelin that was like plucked from your back is now kind of resting at your feet.
Thanks.
That was cool.
Pup, always looking after me. Man, I can't wait to get suffix on a bloody German half. Anyway, I'm going to grab the javelin and I'm going to walk over to Davos and I'm going to tap him with the javelin on non-pointy end.
Thanks for
Which
clarifying.
is the way you throw
I
it.
appreciate it.
Which is the way you throw it. That's
You
right.
throw it like a
That's what
boomerang, right?
how I
You
was
throw it
taught.
horizontally. I think. I mean, I'm not that dumb that I knew you took the ring because you think it's to do with what's happening with me.
You've rolled 2 nat 20 intelligence checks. You're the smartest
Yeah,
you've
I
ever
know.
been in
The
your entire
smartest
life.
I've
Clarity right now.
Sadly, that was also the javelin.
Yeah. God damn it.
Sorry.
Whatever you did with the ring, I think the javelin might be an issue too.
Daxie, you recognize now that you see it up close. The tip of this javelin is made of a familiar stone. Familiar in the sense that you encountered it in another dream. A dream in where you were balancing scales.
Oh. The carving
So for
was
Kala,
made out of that?
yeah, so for Kala and Maeve, don't know this, but just a little, just a backdrop of the story so far. The dream that you had, yeah, you found those carvings kind of dumped into your pockets. One was an owl. Oh God, what were they?
Wait, one was like a lamp.
One was a
or
lamp.
a ball
A
hanging
lantern.
on a thing.
Exactly.
The
And then-
lantern, yeah, that was it.
And then the third one was a dragon,
Dragon.
The dragon.
right?
Yeah.
And they were all made of this blackish stone that you'd never encountered before, or heard about or studied. And in front of you, not pure, but the manifestation of that same stone, that same black stone.
This is the stone that I saw with Caro when we were in the darkness with the scales.
Davos and DeQuinn, you were in a
We
prison
You
cell.
were in you guys were in the boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were in a prison cell on a boat. You have no clue what he's talking about.
Great. Another
We
dream. that I
didn't
have
we
to
talk
worry
about it?
Yeah, you
afterwards?
did. You did. See,
Yeah,
they
okay,
understand
so they
what.
know.
Yeah, they understand what
Okay.
you're saying, but they don't. Carol actually saw the stone. These guys, they're just like, oh yeah, like this is what you were telling us about.
These are connected.
Connected to what?
I don't know, these dreams and this type of stone could be it's just I don't know.
Would you like to study it?
Manifestation.
Would you like to have a look on it?
Yeah, I will.
You're the smart one here, Walrus. Don't let me down.
Alright, I'll take the javelin
Mm-hmm.
and look at the stone and see if I can identify the stone. Identify the stone?
Are you gonna cast identify? Or are you gonna just try and make like a rough check?
No, I think I'll cast identify.
All right. Let me see what that. Let me pull that up in your chat here again.
It would be
If
Yeah.
it's a magic item or some other magic imbued item, you learn its properties and somehow to make use of attunement. Okay.
I would know if there's a spell on it, I guess.
There's not a spell on it, but I'm gonna do some things here. So
You
let
learn
me-
its properties and how to use them.
Yeah, the properties are what I'm gonna give you here.
You found out you don't throw it sideways.
you do know.
What if that's the only thing I glean from it? Okay, what I found out. This
You just
M
use the ways of
goes
magic.
in enemy.
You've been throwing these wrong the entire time we've been fighting. Here we go. Pull this up. Let me, oh God, come down to, sorry, 1 second here. Pull this up. God, give me
Baby,
the.
come back.
Here we go. This is what I want. This is what I want. Okay. You cast Identify on this this javelin, and for the most part, it's just a standard makeshift javelin. But when the tip, you feel a pull. You feel a sort of tug of energy. Very, very light. Very, very weak. The stone is tainted by magic, and as a cleric, you know it to be demonic magic. And that's pulls something from you. So make a history check with advantage. Oh god,
Yeah,
I don't have my screen up. What'd you do? So it sounds like it was really good.
21.
Hang on.
Okay. Demonic stone, and the Icewind Dales. You think, and you remember the story from years ago of a fortress being erected with the foundation of demonic magic, and it was destroyed, and the stone was scattered everywhere. And now you're piecing together that this stone can be harvested and used, and it's powerful and it's strong, but it can corrupt those that use it if they're not careful.
So even the barbarians that were using these javelins,
There's something
or the berserkers rather.
There's something inherent in the magic of the stone, and as weak as it is, and especially this javelin particularly, maybe luckily, it affects those that carry it and those that wield it, altering them in some way, and that seems to be perhaps what has been causing DeQuinn to have his dreams. There's no magical properties, like it's not like there's a spell or a curse. But
Right.
there
It's
is
the stone itself.
exactly. It's something infused in there, and yeah, it can corrupt, and perhaps has been corrupting DeQuinn in only the past 2 days that he's been in possession of it. So God knows what it's done. I mean, you remember this stone was encased in all the weapons that these berserkers were using. The mace, I think it was a mace, right?
Morning Star.
A flail. It was a morning star,
Flail.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
flail.
Yeah, all of these had this sort of dark stone encrusted on it in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just minute. And yeah, and that's why even when you guys were struck by it, that sort of that sickness that overcame you immediately is probably related to this stone. And then you remember prolonged contact to it caused unknown impact on the mental state of people that had it.
This is dangerous stuff.
Like dangerous good. You can use it to kill somebody.
No, I think using it even as a weapon would cause a sort of corruption to the user. This may have been the madness that was taking hold of our past enemies in the cave.
So javelin, no good.
Javelin, no good. We should
Okay.
leave it, destroy it, whatever. But this is definitely a link to some of our misadventures. I don't know if it's related to Caro at all, but she seemed to also become possessed for her departure.
Oh, so we just need to take a javelin out of Caro and she'll be okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Might not be that simple. But either way, are you feeling better?
Well, actually, I saw an old friend of mine. I just
Oh?
need some sleep. Yeah. So Pop. Which probably means nothing to you, but it means the world to me.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed, Mr. Walrus. Actually, there's something I need to discuss with you when we get some downtime, perhaps in a tavern, about the lunar and soul that resides in your tusk.
We
That's for
shall
another time.
sometime. Yep.
But for now, I'm going to yeet this javelin away.
Yeet away.
Make a
We yeet check.
athletics check.
That is
Fuck.
now forever known as a yeet check.
Fuck it with give it advantage too. I want to see you really yeet this thing. I don't want to see a half yeeted. Oh yeah. Do you throw it pointing in first, or as I imagine you throw it, fucking the stick
Like
in
a
first?
boomerang, baby.
You just chunk a boomerang out there. It does. It goes.
Does it come back?
It does not come back. There's a moment. All five of you kind of look out as this sort of like small stick just disappears into the distance.
I think I heard it hit a tree.
You hear there's a moment goes by and you hear ah! You hear a groan in the distance now. No, it is successfully yeeted, and do you feel a little better already? Actually, maybe just because you got to throw something really far.
Maybe. I haven't punched anyone in the face yet, which is actually pretty good.
It's pretty good for you.
Remind me of that. I don't want to see Torga's face right now, though.
She has just been
She's been a part of this yeah.
She's just been kind of staring eerily back into the back end of the cave. Maybe her head down the whole time, acting like she's not paying attention.
Torga.
I still like to sleep 30 feet away. Sorry, actually I cut you off.
No, it's okay. Torga, did you know about these weapons?
She kind of
Tainted weapons?
clambers awake, kind of like what's tainted weapons? Tainted with
the stone that, or the metal or stone. I think it's stone, right? Stone that was used was corrupted.
I don't know much about the stone.
Okay. I thought you might.
No, not a, you. Hard to tell from your distance, 30 feet away to Quinn.
I thought I'd just try.
She kind of puts her. What's your passive insight?
That's like
Not yours. I don't care about you. What's your passive insight, Adaxi?
15.
Oh shit. Okay.
oh.
Let me take a look here.
You're very trustworthy, Walrus.
You can tell she's lying. Adaxi.
Spit it out. What do you know?
I know that people ask for black stone, and if I come across it, it usually sells pretty well.
So you've been trading in this.
I trade in everything, dear. That's what keeps me alive. But that stuff is hard to come by. I know not to get too comfortable with it, but I know that there's several people out there that pay good money for it. So if I find it, I sell it. I move on with my day, just like any other good.
You're the worst.
Was Sethic a trader in these as well, or was he trying to get people to use it?
Sefik didn't bear much interest to the black stone.
Hmm.
Listen, I know what you think of me. I understand what I am to you, especially given my connection with Sefik, but in the end, I did what I had to do to survive from day to day, and that's all. Nothing more, nothing less.
Whoa.
She kind of tucks her head back down, propped up against the back of the cave. Anything else before the night ends?
I'm gonna cast Good Berry, so I have some for tomorrow.
Okay.
Nice. I've got enough for everyone in case we need it.
Perhaps not now, but later we should press more on the source of these weapons. So clearly, whoever's dealing them is trying to influence the users. Create maybe even an army.
Maeve kind of perks up in the back and she looks. She goes, I don't know. Those seemed makeshift weapons, though. They weren't mass produced. They didn't have any good quality in them. Even the flail was just barely a rock on a rope, for better for worse.
Well, then it could have been happenstance that it was found a durable material to make weapons.
Well, there's definitely something to a whole group of people having them, right? It's like you don't just happen to have a bunch of them in the same cave in the middle of nowhere. So there's something to it. She kind of rubs her face and huddles back into her fur lining. I'm not taking the first shift.
I'll take first shift. Time to think.
Pooh Bear, think. All right, who's doing watch tonight? Are you guys splitting it up evenly again?
Yeah, that seems to work.
All right, everyone make a perception check, and everyone make a frost check.
What's a frost?
Wait, what's a
So
frost?
I'm
check?
sorry, that's the natural 20 you guys
That's
roll.
the 20, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then we add the bonuses for. Ooh.
Oh, someone's chilly. Someone's toasty.
So let's see perceptions. Good. Who am I waiting on? Oh, we're waiting on Maeve. Let me pull her up real quick. View campaign. View Maeve. Her perception's incredible, so she rolls a nat 1. And then a normal 20 I'll just roll for. Perception's fine. 16? Yeah, everyone but Davos. Davos, you're just really struggling to stay warm. Maybe it's because you're so far away from DeQuinn and it's kind of unsettling for you. You're used to that like musky heat that comes from him. This is a rough night for you. And no matter what you do to try and find warmth in your hands, you just seem unable to. So you have a point of exhaustion. Which will gives you disadvantage, I think, on is it checks? Oh, I pull it this way. I'll pull it up. But everyone else manages to get through the night with finding some semblance of warmth. DeQuinn, you yeah, I don't have it set up in Roll20. Sorry, guys.
But you can do it in D&D Beyond.
You can give yourself exhaustion.
I don't know if it affects your rolls or not.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's smart enough to do that either.
Some special abilities and environmental hazards. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Disadvantage on ability checks is the first level.
Got
DeQuinn, DeQuinn, you fall asleep, and for once you have a peaceful dream of just polishing your horns, and they're fucking immaculate, as you polish them. And you're warm, and there's a big thing of ale next to you. And you look over and you see hanging over a rack near the fire of your camp is a big red pelt.
Oh man. You know the way to Jaquin's heart.
I love the dream. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you get a good night's rest. And as morning time comes, this time everyone's able, except for really Davos, to find a good night's sleep. And you're almost there. You're almost to your destination, which seems to be this one particular mountain spire in the distance. Kala recalls is where she last remembered the tribe being. So it's up to, I believe, Davos and DeQuinn now to bring the party home.
Greatest of mornings to everyone.
Landed.
Do I give you advantage, Mr. Davos?
Definitely not.
Okay, I shall roll with advantage. Survival it is.
So you roll 4 survival checks for each periods of the day of the travel. And if
That
Davos
is one.
okay,
Wow.
Davos can give you advantage on 2. So roll them one at a time. Roll them one at a time, and let's see which ones.
Okay, well these first 2 will be with Davos before he sleeps. Oh dear.
10. So are you
No,
rolling?
these are-
Are you rolling with
Sorry.
advantage each time, or are you just rolling normal and then?
He did the first 2 with advantage.
Yes.
Just right out of the gate. I see. Okay, so a
Way
10.
more helpful right now.
So a 10 and 11 are the back half, huh?
Yep.
Okay, I see. Okay, one more. Interesting.
Came out like a bull in the gates, and then I ended
Mostly good. Mostly good.
Yeah.
Mostly good. A double digit is what I like to see.
You should get one more advantage for being a good spirits.
It's actually the good spirits that kind of works against DeQuinn.
Oh well. Unearned confidence. Oops.
He's so peppy to begin with, and he's excited that he got a good night's sleep and feels kind of back to his normal jolly self. And as he's going forward, you guys are now working down kind of this valley. Maeve and Odaxi, kids, Kala's kind of taking the rear now, right? The closer and closer
Yeah.
you
Are we
guys get.
closer? Yeah.
Still-
Yeah.
She's still looking for. Yeah, she's definitely at the rear the closer they get, but she's still looking for more things in case they stop
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
She's hoping they'll stop again.
roll another perception check. And as you're doing that, you guys follow behind DeQuinn, and you can see he's got like a little pep in his step.
She's distracted.
Yeah, you're nervously glancing into the distance of this spire that's coming closer and closer into visage. You guys notice that DeQuinn pulls out his pot as he's walking, and he's just kind of trotting along, and Davos is looking left and right, kind of scanning for anything that could be, bad terrain or creatures kind of lingering in the distance. But DeQuinn is just kind of bulling ahead in this valley and stretches this weird skin-like fabric over the pot and begins to start to tap out a melody. And at first, it's like, it's fine. It's just DeQuinn being DeQuinn, and you all are just trotting along, and even as hard as you might, you can't fight the smile that creeps across your face. But DeQuinn gets really into it, weirdly into it, halfway through the trot, and starts to
I'm the greatest hunter in the world. I'm the greatest hunter. I caught the red pelt. Now I'm excited to find a Goliath.
And
That's
as he is really reaches into that Goliath tone, he just cracks on the drum, and it almost, there's a popping sound as the skin that's flayed along the top of the pot it's kind of brittle and cold, and it actually snaps. And at first, DeQuinn looks down. He's a bit sad, but it's just skin. Like, it can be replaced. Or, he could probably even maybe mend it if he really wanted to. But you get an echo kind of, like, reverberate in the surrounding mountains, like, to your left and to your right. In a moment, everything is fine. But then you hear this crack. And this sort of snap. And behind you, you look and you see, and it looks like a cloud is kind of coming down from the mountaintops and settling on the ground behind you. But instead of just falling like straight down, the cloud hits the ground, and it actually moves towards you. And this is not DeQuinn's first time. He's actually done this on purpose, surprisingly, many times in the past.
Dear, yes.
He looks back and excitedly looks over to each of you and yells, "Avalanche!" As this like blooming snow starts to come towards you. And so I need everyone to roll initiative.
Against the snow?
The avalanche?
Against the snow. That is correct.
Nice.
Wow.
Do we have to click
You'll
our
need it.
token? No,
Yeah,
I
click
guess
your
not.
token.
Oh,
I don't see
Um,
a token. Hold on.
Here, all right, hold on. Let me slide you. I'll slide you the screen. I think. Let me just make sure
don't-
it's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Oh god, that monster's huge. Oh, okay.
You're not moving. You don't need to move anywhere. I guess you could move if you really want. No, stay here. Stay where your tokens are at here. But just kind of give you a sense of like the valley that you're in. So click your token.
We don't.
And what's that?
I don't. Oh, I see it now. Sorry.
Okay.
I see it.
will you fix mine? I didn't have a token. I got really excited and I clicked. Oh my god, it's a big deal.
What's your numbers? What's your numbers?
19. Oh, I can do it.
Okay.
Neat.
A taxi.
Oh, how'd you
He
fix it?
actually wrote a 0.
Did I? Wait,
You wrote it.
I thought I rolled a 16. I really did.
Yeah,
For some reason.
you didn't, and I don't know why there's 14.4s, but whatever.
Get the tiebreaker.
So as you turn around, hold on, let me pull up the rules, the Avalanche Rules, which is really exciting. We get to use. Here we go. Let me roll. I'll roll Mave real quick. Yeah, this is a really beautiful map, actually.
It's just big. I didn't say beautiful.
Okay, fair enough. 20 for Mave.
Oh.
Oops, descending is what I want.
You
Okay.
have 0 initiative.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna
Tor,
plant my feet. I'm gonna plant my feet and tank that avalanche.
Tor
Because I'm
kind
gonna
of
have to.
looks behind at the oncoming. Put you guys down here at the bottom at the oncoming snow, and she snaps back into Quinn. You fool. So.
This is the funnest part.
DeQuinn's like slowly excited, like starts to perk up even more. So you see behind you this 300-foot wide, 150-foot long, 30-foot thick, just mound of snow start to push towards you. This snow is going to overtake you. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. There's no amount of tomfoolery that you guys can do that's going to allow you to dodge the snow, because it moves at 300 feet a turn. Let me just make sure I'm looking at this right. Yes. So, given your rolls, I will say anyone above 10 has 2 actions that you can kind of do to prepare for the oncoming snow. It's not very high, so it's not like you're going to get, like, buried under, like, 500 feet of snow, but it's coming very quickly. So if you are over initiative of 10, you have 2 actions you can do. And if you're under 10, you can do 1 action. And if you're a Daxi, you can do 0 actions, because you have an initiative of 0.
Have
Yep.
no initiative. How
I'm a rock
high is
man.
the-
Don't even worry about it.
What's the height of this wall of snow?
It's coming at you. It's probably about, let's see. It's about 30 feet thick. So it's about 30 feet tall. The walls around you that you guys see on this map right now, they're about 50 to 60 feet up.
Okay.
Actually, maybe even a little more than that. So, yeah. I mean, if you look up here, there's like, there's some stepping stones you could maybe get to if you dash. This piece right here, as I'm clicking things, is probably like 30 feet up, if you're trying to get some elevation. But most of the wall is pretty tall up as you guys are crossing down this valley. Maeve, since she's first and she's not here to protect herself, she's going to turn... Let me see what she also didn't prepare any spells because she had to go. Let's see. What abilities does she have? Features.
Abe fires an arrow at the avalanche.
She fires 2 arrows because she can do that with Dread Ambusher.
Oh man, you're gonna have to tell her that she wasted 2 arrows on everything.
No, God, no.
Right,
Not
she's
gonna be the person to do that. You guys see her? She looks back at you both, and she kind of rips off her bandana, and you see those those canine-like features start to take shape on her face. I'm trying to see what this actually does. She's going to immediately kind of come to the side. So that was, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'll give her like right here, and she's gonna start trying to like scale the backside of this wall to gain some height. Oof, God, it's gonna be. I'll do an acrobatics check. Try not to. 17. Okay, she's gonna get about 15 feet up for her first turn. Davos, what do you want to do?
I'm going to cast message.
Darkness.
I get two actions before this avalanche, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna see like exactly, yeah.
But I'll get to do. We're just doing one right now.
One right now, right?
Okay.
Help me, bees!
Cast message to Quinn.
He's right behind you.
And
You know that, right?
I know. No,
Okay.
I'm playing the long game.
Okay, sure.
And the message is, wait, how long does this, before I commit to this? How long for a round. Not going to do that. I'm going to run.
Okay.
10, 20, and then can I try to get a little bit of elevation here?
Sure, you can kind of follow me if you want. I'll let you make a athletics or acrobatics check, depending on what you think is actually going to help you more.
I am so much more acrobatic.
You see Maeve is starting to like bound up like various crevices. And you're like, okay, that's doable. So you start to do the same. You're not as efficient as she is, but you probably get about 10 feet up.
I like it.
DeQuinn, you're up.
So an action is either a move or can you dash as well, or?
So you get a turn. I guess I should say you get a turn. So like Davos uses his turn to move here and his action to kind of start climbing the wall. You can do the same.
I'm going to run 30 feet and then I'm going to dash another 30 feet, please.
Okay.
Go over here.
Torga is going to do the same. She's going to go, what did she roll? 14? Yeah, so she's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. She's going to stop. She's going to look to see 2 climbing and 1 running, and running seems like the better option, so she's going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet try to follow you. Kala, what do you want to do?
How high did you say this was?
That's probably about 20, 30 feet up. Yeah.
So would that get someone out of the way of this?
It'd get you pretty close if you're able to scale it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to, I think I go in here.
Actually, I'll give you 1 turn. A 0 is pretty brutal.
No. I want you to
You...
stick with your gun.
Okay.
And so I want to see, I'm very I'm interested to see what happens here.
I'm gonna.
You just want to roll a new character.
gonna go
No,
in here and try to
no.
climb from behind.
Okay.
That way, if I can't make it up, at least I have some protection.
Okay.
in front
Roll athletics or acrobatics, whichever you want to do. If you want to try and bounce your way up there, if you want to actually physically use your strength and climb.
Yeah.
Okay. You get about 5 feet up off the ground. You're able to kind of muscle yourself up there. Adaxi, you see all of your compatriots just sprint away, and you're extremely confused as to why. And so you turn around, and you just see whiteness coming at you. And you're running a lot of calculations in your head. You look like that meme with like
Yeah.
the woman
Zach
who's or Zach Galifianakis. Yeah, like all the math is going on in your
yeah,
head.
the woman too.
Yeah, either way, and you're like, there's no mathematical equation that gets me out of this. And so we're going to go back to the top of the initiative for one final round if you're above 10. Yeah.
Just to retcon, I rolled a second acrobatics check because I was supposed to have disadvantage. So it was a 10 and not a 12.
Okay, so you got about 5 feet up as well instead of 10.
Cool.
Maeve is going to continue her descent, or her ascent. She's going to just continue trying to climb up as much as she can. Yeah, and so you see Maeve's, like, with great speed and efficiency, given she's moving, using both her action and her movement to get up. She's probably now 45 feet up on the wall and starting to brace against the wall, seeing the oncoming snow. What do you want to do, Davos?
I'd like to ready an action, please.
Okay, what action would you like to ready?
As soon as this thing is like within a second away, I would like to cast Misty Step and go 30 feet up in the air.
Oh, very nice. Okay, you can do that. Yeah, level 2, right? Do you want to?
It's actually from my feet, so it's a once a long rest kind of a deal.
What do you want to do with your movement? You want to try and climb more, or?
No, I'm gonna shout. I've got 5 feet on this thing, so I'm gonna shout stuff at the snow and dance around for a minute.
Okay, sure.
Great, provoke the avalanche, great.
Yeah. Quinn, what do you want to do?
Alright, so how high did you say the avalanche was?
It's about 30 feet up.
This crevasse or this alleyway, are they higher than 30 feet?
They are. Yeah, you're talking about like 50 or 60 feet up, these two pieces right here. But there is
if I was good at math, if I hide in there, I should be protected, right?
In theory, unless there's like a lot of like, you're a firefighter, right? So you know about backdraft, where like, like the suction of the... I actually don't know if that's anything related to this. It is probably safe. You may still get some snow, like, because you see these rocks here. So there's a chance that diverted snow may force like a funnel almost into this crevasse here. It's possible. But,
I'm going to attempt to climb up the 50 feet wall.
Okay.
But I'm going to stay here in case I fall down, at least then I'll still be protected.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, you want to do athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics for sure. 23.
Okay, you get about 15 feet up. Torque is going to follow suit. 5, 10, 15, 20. She'll roll her dex as well. She panics.
Pretty game coming close to me.
She panics as she's trying to climb, like trying to follow suit behind you. You see, like, she has no, like, you have your, like, axes and, like, your halberd to, like, give you some purchase in the stone. She has none of that. She's using her hands trying to climb up, and she climbs up, like, 5 feet and then immediately falls back to the ground. That's the end of her turn. That's the end of everyone's turn as the snow begins to overtake this entire valley and fill it in. Adaxi, you just absorb this oncoming snow, and you're not even sure how this is going to feel because you've never encountered this before. So let's see. So, Kala, how far up did you get?
Well, I brace as much as I can.
Yeah.
With having no actual action.
Yeah.
About 5
Can
feet
I
up.
go prone at least?
You don't want
I
to
don't
do
know
that.
that.
You don't
No,
want to do
okay.
that, probably.
All
You
right,
can
I
if you
go
want
prone.
to. You can kind of like
No. I just
Buckle.
I just
into the snow if you want as it comes at you. Let me see.
try to hold footing best I can. That's not an action or a bonus action. I'm just living on a prayer, man.
Okay. So you automatically fall prone. Let me just switch the music now that we're just in this.
Do we have another action, or is it just gonna flood through now?
This is it. It's just gonna flood through now. It's moving at 300 feet per turn. I don't see any reason to kind of prolong this. The snow just washes over all of you, and you can see it kind of like rolling and turning and twisting over all the various stones and sides that it comes in contact with. So I'll say if those of you clinging to the wall, see, Maeve got pretty high. Davos didn't care. Kyle, you got 5. Make a strength saving throw. As you kind of brace against the wall and the snow pounds against your back. Yeah, you immediately lose purchase on the stone, and you don't fall down necessarily, but you do fall prone. So let's see, who else is Davos? You're gonna Misty Step up 30, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the stone's gonna collapse against you. Maeve is actually just high enough that the snow kind of washes over her. Davos, how high did you get?
That would have been a total of 35 feet. I was 5 feet before.
Okay. So you poof, and you poof up to the top of the snow, which is now starting to settle, and you're like your waist is in the snow, but your head is above the snow, which is good.
Expert.
DeQuinn, how high did you get?
I got 15 feet, but if I saw Torga fall, would I be able to, I don't know, use the reaction to jump down and like huddle over it and possibly, I don't know, try to protect her from it?
Sure, I'll let you do that.
Whoa. Protecting Torga.
Make a strength saving throw.
Also, she should, because he's going to kill her from jumping off of the top rung.
This is really just DeQuinn's way of stabbing her.
It's really
underneath
just a wrestling move.
Yeah.
How terrible.
Yeah, it's a great strength saving throw. You're able to kind of like put your arms against the stone, huddle over her, and then like dig your hooves in, and you feel the cascading snow against you, and it's an incredibly strong force. You give a little, but you're almost able to cocoon Torga, and snow still gets in, so it's not like she's protected necessarily, but there is this kind of pocket that you formed over her. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm pulling up my Avalanche rules, which are incredibly in depth.
20d6.
Did you make a strength saving throw, Odaxi?
No.
Okay, so make a strength saving throw.
Alright.
Kala did.
Alright, mate.
Make a second strength saving throw to Quinn. The first one was to withstand them. Was like to no, you're fine.
Big boy.
Your strength is fine. You're good. Don't worry about it. Actually. Okay, so sorry, I'm pulling up my dice here. So Odaxi to Quinn. You guys both take 4 bludgeoning damage as the snow cracks against you. Torga and Kala, you will take 9 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
The snow has started to settle over top of you, and it's still very loose. It's not very compact, but you are blinded, and you're restrained.
Everyone?
Everyone that's under the snow. So Odaxi, Kala, DeQuinn, and Torga. You can make an athletics check to try and maneuver yourself up out of the snow. Torga will give you advantage, DeQuinn. So you're able to free action. it's not sorry, I'm reading all these just complex rules for the Avalanche. There's a moment to Quinn, and you've been buried before because you did this for fun because you're a sick person.
I love this shit.
You understand all the mechanics of this, and Torga's kind of just surprised at how efficient you are at removing yourself from the snow. And both you and Torga kind of pop up. Davos and Maeve, you see DeQuinn and Torga pop up to the north, out of the snow, and kind of wrestle themselves through. Adaxi and Kala, would you like to make a strength saving throw? No, I'm sorry, a athletics check. Athletics check.
Yeah,
yes.
I will. Yeah.
Well, it's either that or you die under the snow. So I suggest you both make it.
Pass.
Oh,
No.
Kala. Okay, Kala, you are also able to maneuver your way through the snow. And you pop up, gasp for air, and look around, and yeah, you're now above. Adaxi, it's not going well for you. The initial blow of the snow has made you kind of discombobulated. You don't know what's up and what's down, and it feels kind of off. You didn't make progress. Would you like to try again?
All right. Can I?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Did Toga still take the full damage even though I was cradling her?
She did.
Okay.
So,
I'm struggling.
yeah. So to paint the picture for you guys, Maeve, Davos, you've plucked yourself out of the snow, and you look around and you see.
I'm buried. Right?
Yeah, you're completely buried.
I'm completely buried.
You guys hear
under 30 plus feet of snow. Okay.
Yeah. It's getting grim. That's why I wanted to kind of paint this picture for everyone here. Maeve kind of plops off the side of the mountain, and Davos, you dig your waist out. DeQuinn and Torga, you both pop up, and you can actually even start to see Maeve and Davos to the south there. Akala, you're shortly behind, and you can't see anyone because of the stone right where you're at. But you look in kind of the area that Adaxi was in, and you don't see him. And then Maeve and Davos, you don't see Adaxi either. It's not looking. It's starting to get a little worrisome, actually. The Adaxi, you can try one more time. Let me see here.
Am I able to cast at all while I'm down here? I'm prone, blinded, and yeah.
You can speak. You can use your hands, and you should be able to speak. Hands. Getting your components might be tricky, but it's on your body, so I think you'd be fine. You could cast. So you can try one more time. So here's how it works. You can try one more time to attempt to dig yourself out. After that, you don't have the strength to dig yourself out, and
yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
And
that's why I'm thinking of. I did 1 and 2. Now on 3, I gotta be really.
It's gotta be.
It's gonna be a nat 20 anyway, mate. You're up.
All right. So
Maeve is good.
Okay, sorry.
Maeve is going to begin to kind of meander. She got 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 down to the south here to try and figure out, fish everyone out. And you can hear her calling Kala for both of you to try and see, where you're at. Because the snow has pushed you guys in some... Well, Kala didn't get pushed. Odaxi, you're not where your token is. You're somewhere
right,
under the screen. Exactly, yeah. You're somewhere in the snow here.
All right, so I'm going to, if I can, channel divinity...
Okay.
Into the only thing that I've ever channeled divinity into so far, athletics.
Oh, it's been that kind of adventure for you.
Which is funny. Huh? Yeah, which is funny. And that was for a joke, and this is for real.
Just for life or death. Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to give me proficiency.
Okay, so +2
in athletics. So I don't think that's an automatic here, so I'm just going to add the 2, right?
Yeah, well, we can look at the math and make sure, yeah. But yeah, I don't think it'll add it for you.
Woo, nice.
Yeah, that moment of doing the math and looking around, and you kind of you figured out where your body's oriented, and you're like, this way is up. What were you gonna say?
No, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So uh, DeQuinn, Torga, you guys begin to kind of make your way back towards the entrance to this. Oh God, I'm like messing with the map here. Back to where everyone else is, and you see Maeve calling out, "Kala, are you coming around the bend here?" Oh, you lead yourself. Oh, where'd you go?
Sorry. I marked on it by mistake, and I went to delete the mark, and I deleted my token.
Oh, here, I can throw you off real quick.
Boy, how fun was that?
Did you show back up? You did not.
Sorry.
There you go. Kala begins to like crawl herself around the side of this rock, and everyone, there's a moment of panic, and you're trying to find Odaxi, and you're looking around, and then all of a sudden you just see a trunk, almost like a submarine telescope pop up from the snow, and kind of look around and just take this deep breath in, and then shortly after that he pulls himself up and kind of clambers out of the snow. I will say you're prone as you kind of like flop out of the of snow on the ground here. Daxian,
Gasping for air.
right, gasping for air. That was a lot closer than you expected it to be. You know, you knew you'd be hit by the snow and it was an avalanche, but you didn't expect to almost lose your entire strength to dig out of that snow. And as you guys all kind of plop around, and DeQuinn, I imagine you're kind of giggling, you know, like an excitement.
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
How fun was that? Oh man, if my drum wasn't broken, I'd do it again.
Your drum's broken?
Oh.
Yeah, I banged on the skin a bit too hard.
Oops.
It's alright, I'll get another one when we find a red yeti.
Oh, that was refreshing.
Is anyone hurt?
You can see Odaxi's got a couple bruises.
I'm just shaking snow off of myself, like over and over, like a big cat or a big dog rather. Just like constantly shrugging it off because I'm completely covered.
Maeve got it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how many berries would you like?
Oh, I would love one right now. That was kind of exhausting.
But one only does like 1 point.
One. It literally does 1 hit point per berry.
Oh, well, I'm just meant like as sustenance, like.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure, I'll take 4. I took 4, but I mean, you guys took more of a hit as well. I was able to at least withstand the force of it.
You're -9, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'll put that on your token here just for my own reference here.
How many do you conjure up?
I had 20.
Oh wow, that's great. Wow, that's better healing than I can do.
You can make 20?
That's insane. Like I can't even cast and heal someone for 20.
I thought it was only 8.
Oh, it's a hang on.
Paris is after 24 hours.
But still, like that's really good.
Yeah, whichever you made 2 days ago, those are gone. And I think it casts when you cast.
But I'm casting it every night before I go to bed.
Yeah, but they. You want barely.
You all have your fill. I'm okay.
Up to 10.
Just knocked down is all.
Up to 10 berries in your hand, everything.
Yeah, but you casted it 2 nights ago.
Find the berries, though, right?
The one.
I cast it after he found the weird weapon and had a good dream. That was last night.
Can you imagine eating and drinking enough sustenance for 10 days immediately?
Well, I think it's just you're just doubling up on the 20.
It's a berry, yeah.
Yeah, it's just 24 hours over and over and over. You don't get to extend. You can't eat enough berries for the rest of your life in the first like week, you know.
No, anyone who eats them, can you make it a rule that if you eat more than one, they have to like scream in digestive pain?
They burst and they explode.
Like that back rub.
You guys all kind of like poking around and passing berries around, and we can figure out who eats how many, you know, wherever. You see Maeve stiffen in the snow. And in her shifted form, her ears perk up, and she like clicks around and fans them out in all different directions. And immediately she knocks an arrow and looks around her, and she kind of looks at you, DeQuinn and Davos, Kala, Odaxi. She goes, "We're not alone." And as you do, she kind of perks up and points. The snow is settling on the mountainsides, and you guys all see some figures begin to emerge around you. These large feline-like creatures kind of crest over the mountains, all perched up high on the rocks outside of the avalanching snow, circled around you and each looking at you and kind of remaining low to the ground, unsure if you still see them even in the distance. And they begin to perch up and kind of like shift their hinds back and forth as they prepare to pounce. And that is where we'll leave tonight's episode. In preparation for the next one. I can never get the music right. I wanted a more ominous tone. More ominous tone here.
How convenient though. I just lose my skin and now I've got 6 skins. Or 5 skins.
Oh.
Ready for my drum.
You know? Yeah. It was either them or Torga, I think, right? Like, someone's gonna be a skin drum. All right.
They've got fur, but
I've been looking at this back left rock, and is there something in there?
Where at?
Back left in the map.
Back left.
What's back left? Like down left?
Oh, like here?
If you scroll up and then to the left.
No, back of you then.
Yeah, don't worry about map items you can't see from far away. Worry about you. Worry about yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about stuff back there.
rock that looks like a turtle.
God.
Yeah, I will say, it's a beautifully drawn map that I'll have to find the name of who drew it, because I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it's called Harpy Cave. And so what you're seeing are feathers back there for harpies that you're not fighting right now. I thought the map was really cool and kind of like, what I was looking for this session.
Yeah.
So that's why. But yeah, there's kind of feathers back there. Those are probably for the Harpy Cave stuff. Like, it looks like right here too. Like right here is almost like an entrance or something. Yeah. Okay, well that's good. We're gonna wrap up tonight's session. Thank you, anyone. I don't know.
Good session.
Anyone that
If
popped
we're
by.
gonna start with a battle, do we want to figure out how many carries everyone booked so we can have that heal?
Yeah, for sure.
I took none.
Took none. Okay.
I also took none.
The only people that are.
I also can't.
What's wrong?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, I can't be here for the next week, for the next session.
Okay.
So I will have to miss next session. That the 9th, I think. May 9th.
Yes.
Ooh, likewise.
Okay, well then we'll just skip.
No, 2 of us are out? Maybe
Yeah.
we'll just skip? Okay.
If 2 are out, we'll skip, and maybe I'll just run a one shot or something. So we'll have to really take a break.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's fine. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, yeah, I'll be in North Carolina, so
Oh, that's exciting.
won't even be here.
Okay.
Yeah, visiting for Mother's Day.
Woo. Say hi to Mama Harper for me. Ask her, did she ask about me at all or no?
No.
Let me kill the stream. Let me kill the stream and then we can chit chat. Thank you, anyone.
She's watching though.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah.
No, she's not watching.
She's. I'll send her.
She don't know what Twitch is.
You're right. You don't have to explain that to her. Thank you for anyone that popped by. I appreciate it. And stay course, Mama Harper. Yeah, we'll pick up next session with maybe a one shot, or maybe we'll just take a break and come back in a couple weeks. No big deal. But yeah, have a good night.